I'm Argus. Just Argus now. I'm a mercenary from the Crest Mountains, looking to get as far away from them as my body can carry me. Though this eternal winter is making that annoyingly difficult. Almost as difficult as family, but that's not important and not anything I want to talk about right now. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just looking for stories to tell along the way, and I'll destroy anyone or anything who thinks they can get in my way and stop that from happening. And if anyone asks, this conversation never happened. I was never here. Got it?
Dear Mom and Dad, it is I, your favorite daughter, Mochi, with my weekly letter and my life and travels. I do hope you're receiving these things. I haven't heard back from you in a while. Anyway, after being asked, somewhat forcefully, to leave the avium, I've been asking myself, Mochi, what is next? Turns out I got my answer. It came from above, you could say. So I'm still practicing my magic. It's just a little different. Don't worry, I am still determined to pass the next entrance exam. But until then, I'm staying somewhere quiet and trying to use my magic to be helpful wherever I can. I promise I'm working really hard, even if things haven't gone totally to plan. But I'm sure I'll make Mom proud of me one day soon. I hope things are going well with you, and I hope to hear back from you soon. Love you and miss you, your most determined daughter, Mochi.
Alright, well met. Name's Voldemort the Druid. Volley to my friends. Yous can call me Voldemort though. Now, I may be done with my adventuring, but someone's got to keep the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed out of trouble. Just as long as I'm back in my stump in good time. What, you want more? Well, not much to tell really. Tried a whole heroics business a while back, and let's just say it didn't really work out so great for yours truly. Nowadays I prefer to work on my mushroom magic in peace and quiet, thank you. But I have a debt to pay, so I'm in.
Hello? Are you going this way too? Oh, gosh, I'm glad I caught up to you. You walk really fast. But did you know that everything has magic in it? Is it magic how you walk that fast? Is that what it is? Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Clarence, and I am an inspiring hero. Well, you see, magic school didn't quite work out for me. They have very specific ideas on magic, and I don't really quite agree with them. You see, I think the whole world is magical. Everything in it is magical, and even if you're not a magic user, I think that there's a little bit of magic inside each of us. And I know one day I'm gonna find that magic, and with my friends, we're gonna save the world. So, do you wanna sign up to be in my adventuring party?
Oh, hello. Come on in. The bakery is warm. My name is Marley. Oh dear, you look frozen to the bone. The cold has a way of doing that. Cutting right into your bones, I mean. Take a seat by the fire, and I'll see if I can find something to warm you up. We don't have much in the way of baked goods on hand these days, not with the way supplies are rationed, but, well, I've lived long enough and I know how to make ends meet. Here, take this acorn loaf that's still warm from the oven. I know it's not much, but in times like these, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that folks have to look out for one another. You can always count on old Marley to have your back. Oh, no, you keep your coin. You just get on home while that bread is still warm. And take care. It looks like the snows are starting up again.
So you wish to hear a story? I have a story. In the faraway world of Everden lies a vast forest nestled between the mountains and the sea. The Humblewood, a sprawling woodland realm made by the gods themselves, with titanic trees that can grow as tall as mountains and as wide as cities. And the beings that inhabit this forest are unique as well. Beasts that can grow to enormous sizes, nature spirits of elemental fury, and a people known by fur and feather. The humble folk. But in this ancient and magical place, all beings hum with an endless song, the great rhythm of life and death, and above all else, balance. But balance is such a fragile thing. When the snows started early, little concern was given. Some years had short autumns. Perhaps the storm god Altus had flapped his wings too hard and sent an early frost. The hearths were stoked, the children were bundled, and the food stores were open so that none was left hungry. But long after spring should have arrived, the snows remained, and with each day, week, month, year of growing disquiet, the rhyme endured. It has been 5 years, and the hearths have gone cold, the children are shivering, and the food stores, as well as many bellies, are left empty. Yet there is hope. Not in the place anyone would think to look for it, no. Hope often arrives in the most unexpected ways. That flicker of light in the cold dark. A group of ordinary folk bound by fate, friendship, and the call to do what is right. This is the tale of those unlikely adventurers who fought to achieve the impossible. The tale of how everyday people can rise to become heroes that save their world. This is their story. This is your story. This is Humblewood, the Unwelcome Winter. Hello and welcome to Humblewood, the Unwelcome Winter. I almost said ahoy. I should come up with something to actually say for this game. Welcome to the premiere of Humblewood, the Unwelcome Winter. I am very excited to have all of you here, to have all of these wonderful folks here. I should change the music from the gnome dance. That's more of our waiting room music. Yeah, technical issues aside, great to be here. Great to have you all. I am Derek. I should start with that. I use he, him pronouns. I am your GM for this game. I will be your guide through these wintry woods as we navigate and try to stop this endless winter. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to force my players to do anything. Maybe they like winter. We're going to get into the world and the backstory and all that kind of stuff. And I am going to have my players introduce themselves even before that. But I do want to say real quick that this wonderful cast, in lieu of taking any type of financial support, which we typically do through Pally, has chosen instead to support a charitable foundation. So this is a philanthropic game that is in support of Fauna and Flora International. A couple of notes about Fauna and Flora International. They are, of course, an international charity foundation, believe based out of the UK roughly, that supports all different types of animal preservation, conservation efforts all over the globe. They have a number of big names attached to them and a lot of reputability. We always try to find reputable sort of charitable foundations to support, and they were definitely up there. One thing of note is that you can impact this game by donating to Fauna and Flora International. It has different tier levels that you can hit to give advantages, crits, group advantages, group kits, or even complications, which makes things just a little bit more difficult for my players, whether that be in combat or in story. One thing to note specifically with that is because this is a international, especially UK-based organization, is that the amounts are not in dollars, they are in pounds. So do keep the exchange rate in mind with that when if you are able and generous enough to donate through that Tiltify link, which you can find in chat. Great. I'm going to stop talking for a second and have my lovely players introduce themselves, say a little bit about themselves, and maybe introduce their character. Let's see, Christian, you are first, if you don't mind.
I sure am. Oh, love that. Camera, please. Can we?
Everybody's really excited, the camera included.
The camera.
We're all good. We're all perfect. It's fantastic. Hey, everybody. My name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba. Pronouns he, him. I am a TTRPG performer and educator, and I'm on a slew of channels. But right now, I am playing Argus Ironclaw, pronouns he, him, Strig Fighter.
Fantastic. Next up, Anniek.
Hi, my name is Anniek. Pronouns she, her. I'm mainly here. I also really like TTRPGs. And when Derek first mentioned Humblewood, I went, I have a character! And then I made 5 more. But today I will be playing Mochi, the Maypac character.
Lost my Zoom for a second there. Next up, Liz.
Oh, surprise, it's me. Hi, I'm Liz. I am a TTRPG designer and occasional model artist, painter. That's what I do. Anyway, today, on the other hand, my pronouns are she and they. I will be playing Marley Ambernest, the God, my brain just went sword folk, squirrel folk, fighter, champion fighter today. It's my first time playing a fighter, so please be with me.
Absolutely. I've never played a fighter before, actually, thinking about it. So yeah, no, 2 fighters, it's going to be great. If you have questions, just ask each other and hope the other person's right. Fantastic. Thank you, Liz. Next up, Pan.
Hi, I'm Pan. I've been performing TTRPG bits, streams, and podcasts for a while now. Really glad to be here, guys. Thanks for the invite. I am playing Voldorol. So my pronouns are he, they. Voldorol's a he, him. He's a Maypac possum? Yeah, Michael Possum, druid. And I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to it. Voldorol probably less so. But looking forward to this game.
Fantastic. Thank you, Pan. Last, absolutely not least, Shadow.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shadow. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a streamer here on Twitch. I'm also a little bit of a hobby artist and a TTRPG, a player, performer, GM. Yeah, that pretty much sums that up. Great. I'm playing Clarence. Pronouns are they, she. And Clarence is a lupu, which is rabbit folk, for those of you who don't know. A lupu bard.
Absolutely. A College of the Road bard.
Yes.
Which is a specific subclass from Humblewood. And Lupu is a homebrew thing that I did because I thought there needed to be more rabbits, and I didn't think that Gerbine counted. Great. I have a wonderful cast. We are going to get to how all these wonderful characters have come together, what their story is as we start out. But first, I want to tell you the story of Humblewood. Humblewood is, let's think of it almost as a country on a much larger continent. Don't worry about the rest of the continent. Humblewood is settled between mountains and the sea, surrounded almost on all sides by hills, mountains, and just sprawling forest. But the Humblewood itself is a forest, a living being. And it is ancient and magical to the point where the trees in this forest are not normal trees. They grow to the size of cities and mountains. And at the very heart of them is the Alder Heart, this metropolis built into a living tree made by the druids where thousands of humble folk live. That's just the city center. There are plenty of humble folk that live outside of the Alder Heart as well, in the forest of the Humblewood and even beyond. The Humblewood is a home to great beasts. It's a home to elemental creatures. In fact, they've had some issues with elemental creatures in the past. There's an entire area known as the Scorched Grove, where fire elementals, including things called ember bats, bats made of fire, literally come out of the plane of fire in this specific area. But fire is a part of the great balance. Everything lives, everything dies, everything burns and regrows. It's when balance is broken, it's when the scales are tipped that things become an issue. And 5 years ago, that happened. It's been winter for 5 years. When the snows started, people didn't really care. They thought it was an early winter. There's a god of storms. Easy enough to blame an early winter on the god of storms, but the snows didn't stop, and they haven't stopped. And what used to be a manageable issue has now become beyond a crisis. And the humble folk are hungry, and the humble folk are cold, and there is no sign of the snow stopping, and there's no sign of really anyone doing anything to stop them. So we pick up with our heroes, our would-be heroes. I'm not sure they're necessarily heroes yet. They're from the small town of Birchier, a suburb, if you want to think of it, outside of the Alderheart. Couple of days travel from the Alderheart. It's gotten to the point where the smaller towns like Birchier, like Maple Ark, the smaller wooded areas still within the proper Humblewood itself, their food stores are long depleted years ago. They, every community stores up for a winter or two in case of emergency, but these smaller towns just, they couldn't have predicted this. And it has become practice for a group of villagers, of citizenry of these smaller towns, to travel periodically to the Alderheart, which has food stores much, much larger, and get supplies that bring them back to their home. It just so happens that our particular adventurers are among those citizenry chosen to travel to the Alderheart. You all have been gifted with the town Gargath, which is a huge size beast. So not even large. This isn't like horse size. This is like one size category above horse. This is a cow, like yak sort of creature. Has this longer hair, these wider horns. I guess I'll start with this. You are the Gargath is pulling a sled. You all could be on the sled, you could be walking next to it. Where do we find you all traveling in these deep snows, traveling towards the Alderheart? Let's go ahead and go around. So, Christian, I will start with you.
Yeah,
where would
sure.
you find Argus?
Well, I do want to bring attention to the fact of our overlay.
Yeah, we're getting Anniek back. Anniek's having some technical difficulties today, but we will get Anniek back momentarily.
I just want to make sure that they were all good and solid on that front.
Yeah, we have our tech person working on things. We'll get Anniek back momentarily.
Yes. Do you still want me to just go on ahead? Because I can.
Yeah, we can still hear you. So yeah, where would Argus be on the on this travel during this travel?
During the show, I think just staying vigilant, mostly to himself, if he can help it. I should describe Argus, I suppose.
Please, yeah, that'd be great.
Argus is a strig, which means he is a bird, owl person. He's based off a great horned owl. So if you want to Google that, go for it. He stands about 5'6", 5'7". He's got a stocky upper body, like a lumberjack's build. His feathers are slightly unkempt, and they're a mix of dark brown and golden / like pumpkin orange. From far away, from a good distance, he looks like a bandit. Like he looks like a textbook bad guy, goon. Maybe he's just like the style. Who knows? He also wears heavy wraps and cloths and furs, just collected from his adventures, to keep just to keep him warm, and also keep his face slightly hidden from view, from those who are looking too hard for somebody. But
it's kind of hard to tell the difference between keeping warm and hiding your identity at this point.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not that we should hide our identities here. It's fine.
Is he armed?
He does have a giant maul. Giant maul.
All right.
To his side, not attached to his back or anything, because that doesn't make sense. Why would you want to have to reach like this?
It's fantasy. It's fantasy. We can pretend that back wielding actually makes sense. Sometimes.
He's got a clasp on there.
Yeah. It's got a little magnet or something.
Yeah. And it looks, out of everything he's wearing, that looks the most out of place.
Okay. Yeah, so okay, kind of keeping to himself, walking alongside stuff. I should say the snow is deep for you all. You don't weigh enough to even get through what has become the new permafrost. The snow has become packed so much that maybe it's like knee deep for Argus, probably a little bit deeper for some of our smaller humble folk. But the Gargath has kind of like weighed down even more into it. The sled is like above everybody because the sled just is gliding on the top of the snow, cutting through it. Where would we find, speaking of smaller humble folk, where would we find Marley?
That's a great question. Well, I was trying to think strategically, of course, as a fighter. She's probably either in the front or the back of like the line of folks. But if the sledge is gliding on top, she's probably out front, I guess, because I guess it really doesn't matter. So
yeah, you could also be on the back of the Gargath if you wanted. It's a pack animal. The sled is mostly empty. Like there's a couple of things in it to trade once you get to the
Right.
Alderheart. Make sure that you can actually pay for the grain and supplies that you're going to be getting. But
Sure.
the sled is mostly meant for bringing stuff back.
Yeah, I think though, as a fighter, she's probably trying to stay vigilant and make sure that just in case, you never know, weirder things have happened. So probably trudging along through the snow, cursing every single step the whole time. Internally, of course, there's no like outward indication that she's frustrated, but like it's winter.
And what would we see when we saw Marley?
Well, so she's a squirrel folk. She's older. Gerbine characters, apparently they top out around 40, and Marley is probably about 30. She is definitely an older Gerbine. She's got gray in her fur. She's still sprightly, still mobile. So I mean, she's not slowing down or anything, but she's definitely like kind of old and crotchety. And so she's she wears chainmail. She's got some like layered robes on top of that are cinched around her waist and whatnot, with a cloak on top of all of that, and she's carrying a short sword.
Let's see. Well, cameras are getting rearranged again. Okay. Anniek is back. Hey, welcome back, Anniek.
Hello,
Okay,
thank you. I'm going to try and stay here.
I will let Anniek get settled for just a moment. So, Volderol, what about you? What first of all, what would we see when we saw Volderol? And next up, where might we find you traveling towards the Alderheart?
Voldemort would be the sleigh would require someone to hold the reins and such, which is basically what requires the least amount of having to do any real work. So Voldemort is definitely going to be holding the reins for the sleigh, and before you see Voldemort, you kind of smell just the constant waft of these like clove roll-ups he's got, and he's got a lot of them. So he's just like this cloud of smoke, which is tinged a little bit green as well. And he's smoking, and just he knows he doesn't really have to do anything with this beast. He's just like, oh no, I'll make sure I'll do the steering because I don't want to have to walk actually. So he's up front there. What you see when you see Voldemort is he is also a Mapak, but he is a possum. He's a druid, and so he's wearing lots of leathers and furs. It all looks very worn. It looks like at one point it was in great shape. Look like he bought some really good gear and just hasn't really updated it or done anything with it for a long time. So it's a bit frayed. He's graying around the temples and around the eyes, and his I guess you can't really see his skin, so his fur is wrinkled around his forehead from his perpetual scowl.
Yeah, it's totally up to you. He could be balding, absolutely. I'd love the idea of a balding possum with bell pepper baldness. I'm not going to impose that on you, but
no, he's not balding. It's the one thing he's like, no, my hair, gotta keep it nice.
Okay, yes, I am a kindred spirit with Volderol, absolutely.
Yes, I get it.
Let's go back to Mochi. Mochi, traveling with the caravan, with Gargath, with your sled, with your companions. First of all, what would we see when we saw Mochi, and where would we find Mochi among this traveling caravan?
When you see Mochi, you see a young Maypac. She is a solid 8 years old. Yeah, still acts like 8 years old. So she doesn't have like a set place in the pack. She'll just sort of wander and see who's up for a chat and pet the Gargath and, shake some snow off some branches to see just what kind of leaf is under there, make some notes. She does clang a little when she walks. She wears scale mail. And sometimes she kind of forgets she's wearing scale mail. And you'll see her things start kind of pinch and try to make some adjustments to get everything a little comfier. Remember, she's wearing a shield on her back and sort of go, right. Notice the mace at her side and sort of try and tuck everything away. But yeah, she's not deterred by the snow, and just, despite 5 years of winter, annoyingly cheerful.
Terrible.
And just straight up adorable.
Absolutely. I think that goes without saying. And in competition for being the most adorable, where would we find Clarence?
It's not a competition, okay? We share that.
Because Clarence already won. I get it. Okay. No. We all heard the intros.
I vote Mochi for cutest. Clarence. So being a rabbit folk, Clarence is very small. Clarence is 3.5 feet tall, so definitely struggling a little bit with the snow, especially if we run into any particular snow drifts. But the thing about Clarence is that they are hopping around everybody, probably pretty much making like a moving circle around the group. Clarence doesn't wear any fancy armor, is wearing like a nice thick traveling coat with a nice little scarf, and has their pan flute out and is just kind of playing a little jig as they're going around and walking with this caravan. And occasionally we'll stop, we'll take a break from playing the pan flute, but we'll start up again in a little bit, and it's just kind of hopping around and keeping everybody going, and also like checking in and petting our wonderful friend who's pulling the sled. And yes, yeah.
Absolutely. I will throw this out to everyone, because I don't think we actually decided. What is the name of your Gargath? I am more than happy to name your Gargath, but I have also learned never to take that opportunity for my players.
I suggested names last night.
Okay.
But nobody came out with anything.
I asked Derek because I figured we got it from the village, so I already have a name, and then he's like, no, I want you to have the opportunity. He's like, oh, so you're just gonna sit back and watch us name it Bob?
Well, no, if Marley wants to try and suggest the names, we can go around and guys and be like how we'd react to them.
Oh, yeah.
Liz, you had some suggestions. What were your
I gotta find that list. Oh, the first name I posited was Buttercup, and then the second one was
absolutely not
Sugarfoot.
Okay.
Also, absolutely not.
I am down with Buttercup. I am pro Buttercup.
I am anti Buttercup. Can we have something good I don't know, crap?
Yeah, go on. Something good like.
Mm-hmm.
No, I got it. Hang on.
We all sit and wait expectantly.
He's looking around. We pass out by the scenery, and he goes, Bush frost. There you go. Had that one in the bag.
That is
Frosty?
No, it's not a cereal brand.
What's Sugar Frost?
I feel like Buttercup has a hope for spring sort of vibe.
Speaking of the local druid, I think it really hates Buttercup. I'm just gonna put that out there.
This is starting to feel like Boulderall has a name that only he calls the Gargath. Okay,
Like,
so
he's not even
Maurice-
actually talking to her. She's like, "What's that?" No, she says she hates that. Actually,
yeah, no spells involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
just
mhm.
lying to you guys.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Buttercup to 99% of the group, and then whatever Volderall thinks the
Yeah,
actual
whatever
name of this
Buttercup's
group.
true name is.
Yeah.
I'm just here for the day Argus has to call Buttercup Buttercup.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Buttercup is
So. Okay. So
Buttercup.
traveling towards the Alderheart, it's a couple of days of travel. We can say that this is. It's the morning of your second day. You have broken camp. Was a cold but quiet night as far as things go. Typically when this is going to be the most dangerous part of your travel is what you're in that middle spot where, you're half a day from home, half a day from where you're going to be. And there's not really anything in between. You also know that as the winters have gone on, bandit attacks have increased because they know that people are going to be traveling with food. And it's much easier to steal from travelers than it is to go and break into the storage of the Alderheart. You also know that animal attacks have increased, and I'm going to say actually beast attacks because that extends even beyond normal giant-sized, mountain cats and things like that. But animals have come down from the mountains. Beast creatures have come down from the mountains in search of food. And with food already dwindling, their natural prey are less and less frequent, and so humble folk have become prey in these dire times. So it is good to keep an eye out. But what are you all doing anything specific you all would be doing while traveling to keep an eye out for stuff, or anything you'd be doing in preparation for any of that?
Mr. DM,
Yes.
can I just point out the night wasn't that cold? At least not for us.
It was cold on the outside. Yes,
It was cold on the outside.
You all have a magic tent, so there's
Provided people are willing to squeeze in, Mochi carries a magical tent that becomes 15 by 15 feet and has a magical fireplace. Because fuck camping.
Yes, you all glamped for the evening.
Yep.
I will point out to especially the druid that the tent is to be kept clean.
Yeah. I mean, when you say clean, do you mean like, it's spotless?
Pristine. Gleaming. No mud. Shoes off at the door. If you're wearing shoes. I'm not wearing shoes. Wipe your feet at the door.
Absolutely not. I need this mud.
No.
Yeah, you're gonna
You
be
can
saying that when I need to cast some kind of mud spell. I'm going to bed.
Sounds like someone is sleeping in their own tent.
It does sound like someone's sleeping in their own tent.
Wardwell goes into the corner and immediately falls asleep with his arms folded, sulking.
I should
Fine.
note that you do have 3 other companions as well that are traveling with you. It's not just the 5 of you sent out from the town. So you do have a Grey Vulpin named Emma. You have a Corvum named Hugh, and you have a Gallus, essentially a rooster, named Oliver. And they are all traveling as well. So you have your main sled, you have a couple smaller sleds that are kind of like tied to it, just because you want to get as much as you can pulled together. So when I say caravan, it is kind of like there are a couple separate. It's like when you see a semi truck that has like the 2 boxcars behind it.
Oh, yeah.
It's similar to that. So you're trying to get as much food as possible so you don't have to do this journey twice.
Could you repeat that? Does this again?
Yeah, I didn't have my notes app reopened.
Yeah, you're good. It's Emma, Hugh, and Oliver. Emma is a Vulpin, Gray Fox Vulpin. Hugh is a Corvum. He's a Stellar's J Corvum, which are this blue and black. So like kind of very vibrant blue top to his head, and then black, like kind of like from his shoulders down on his wings. And then Oliver is a Gallus. He is a rooster, standard, red comb rooster.
Repeat that last name again. Sorry.
The last one was Oliver.
Oliver.
Oliver. Thank you.
Does Buttercup need its own tent? Does Buttercup sleep outside? What's the Buttercup situation at night?
The Buttercup situation? The Buttercup situation is pretty good. So you probably do want somebody to watch Buttercup because as far as prey animals go,
I know, Buttercup's
she's
delicious.
a big one.
We don't have to really worry about being snuck up on because I have a weapon of warning.
Okay, there you
Does
go.
that work
All right.
when you're in the tent for Buttercup?
30 feet, as long as
Okay.
we're 30 feet away.
I just don't need Buttercup to become someone's snack.
So you at least have that, and that is good to note, so that I can have that for my thing. I do want to double check the boarding. So while I'm doing that, Buttercup at least has a very thick coat. That's the nice thing about Gargaths, is they adapt very well to the area that they are in. So Buttercup has a very thick winter coat, and has not been sheared for quite some time. Although there are townsfolk that would love a Gargath lined coat. Let's see. Argus, what is your weapon of warding ward you against? Is it any enemies? Is it a specific type of enemy?
It's any enemy within 30 feet, so we can't be surprised except when incapacitated or by something other than non-magical sleep.
Cool. Good to know. Okay.
It magically awakens you and your companions within range of any if any of you are sleeping naturally when combat occurs.
Dang.
Great.
Nice.
So you know that you in these years you have maybe had, not when you all were traveling, but like a bandit attack has happened a couple of times to different caravans that have come back. It's typically been more of like a give us your food and we'll let you go sort of thing, but it's definitely frustrating because then they had to backtrack, call in the perch guard chases the bandits off. It's a whole big deal. So you all also being martially capable, this is like one of the more fortuitous sort of things, is when they draw the lottery of who's going to go, this is probably going to be more than likely one of the more successful routes. Okay, so traveling along, it's morning, getting into midday. How do you all occupy your time on the road?
If we did have a map, or if we did
Absolutely, yeah.
if we have a map, then Argus would specifically, because I have a background feature that allows me to, let me read it. I'm familiar with the roads of the wood and escape paths used by bandits. When you are not in combat, you and your companions can travel between locations that cut through forested areas twice as fast as your speed would normally allow. So
Great.
I think in
handy.
game, in story, if we have a map, Argus is marked like locations that bandits typically like to use to surprise people from.
I like that.
Escape
Okay.
to.
All right.
He doesn't say how he knows it. He just says he does.
Right. Yeah, I know that also it ties to like cities, like you're getting through like rat warrens and stuff like that, but I also love it for traveling and knowing where these spots are, these choke points might be. I would say with that, Argus, you are aware that, it's probably by midday you're going to be hitting one of those choke points. So to make you aware, there's not really, because you are traveling through the forest proper at this point, like there are smaller pathways, but singular pathways. You guys are rural at this point as far as things go. So there's not really another way around, especially with a huge creature. So you're going to have to go through this specific area.
Right.
I leave that to you to inform or prepare.
So who's the leader of our caravan here?
Not really a de facto leader. It's kind of just, a bunch of villagers get put together, and you have your, we can say that there is a mayor of your town, your small town, but he never really has to go out and do anything. So you all are just equal in citizenry to getting food for Birchier.
Then in that case, I think just as we're coming up to the choke point, and I recognize the choke point, I'm just like, everyone be vigilant. This spot's hot for bandit attacks and threats. It's very common for this spot to be used.
Aye.
No one is surprised by a surprised arrow, so just stay vigilant.
Do you all want to scout ahead? Do you all want to stealth? Do you all want to travel as normal? What's game plan here? Knowing that there might be potentially an ambush.
Can we really stealth with Buttercup?
I was gonna say, I don't know if stealth is a super
I think
option.
people who scout ahead can try to stealth. Buttercup
Yes.
can't stealth, but some of us can.
Yes,
Weirdly
Buttercup
enough,
has no toes
despite
to
wearing
tip on.
no, weirdly enough, despite wearing scale mail, Mochi actually has a decent stealth thanks to being a freaking raccoon.
I also have a decent stealth, and I have advantage on stealth checks too.
Alright,
We're in the forest.
I would normally have advantage, but the scale mail gives me disadvantage, so at least I get straight rolls.
Well, if
Despite
the two of you go on
what
ahead,
I'm wearing.
then you can keep an eye out. I think watch your backs, right?
Yeah. I would hang my shield on Buttercup. I will not stealth with a shield.
Okay. All right, so Argus and Mochi are stealthing ahead then? Great.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give
I'll
me...
cast Blessing of the Trickster on myself for bonus upon bonus.
Okay. All right. Why don't the two of you give me stealth checks?
Okay.
Natural 20. So
Nice.
25.
Oh,
25. All right.
Dang.
Natural 19 for 24.
Okay.
Dang.
We're
that's-
so sneaky, you guys.
Yeah.
You just melt
no, it's-
into the shadows. We don't see where
we
you
took that.
go.
All right, you two
I-
just be careful. Oh, where they go?
Oh, they're already gone. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, when it comes to any time that you're doing something together, I typically just add it up, average it out. So that's an average of 24.5. So yeah, pretty good. You all attach yourselves to the shadows of the tree that are being cast by the sun still in its pre-dawn rising. So there's these long shadows where the trees are kind of casting. It's almost like you travel from one to the other, moving very swiftly without too much crunching even through the snow. Even for someone the size of Argus, it's very dexterous, the way that he moves. And Mochi, just this scattering motion, which even covered in armor, not making a clink or a clank. You all travel ahead, leaving behind well, actually, I'll ask, how far ahead are you willing to travel? Are you willing to get out of like sight distance from your party?
I'm assuming that the choke point is further away than that. So
Indeed. Yeah.
For the way I and Mochi understood it, we'd be going unseen to the choke point to see if
Okay.
anyone's there, rather
enough.
than like actually see if there's an ambush, rather than giving us more leeway for if there is one.
Then I will get perception checks from both of you as well. And also, I just want to recognize natural 20 is the first roll of the game. That's incredible. That's
Yeah,
really good.
that's-
Yeah,
Good luck.
setting a good tone.
Because of my
Get 'em all the
background,
way
because
down.
I know the area.
Yeah.
Would I get
Yeah, you can
advantage?
absolutely roll with advantage for that. You know what to be looking for.
Cool.
I do not get advantage, but I get an 18.
18 still pretty good.
Dang.
I have a +6. It's doable.
I mean, yeah, but you were also worried about your rolls with these dice, so like.
I'm using currently
yeah.
the prism ones instead of the obsidian ones, because it's the obsidian ones that screw me over, and I want to use those for like at night stuff. So during the day I might be better than at night. We'll see.
I love it.
It's a
Argus, what'd you
questionable
get?
palette.
I rolled 18.
18. Okay, so 18's for both. Fantastic. As you are moving in between the trees, there's some trees that are younger, which is to say that they are like the size of what, an older tree would be in our world. There are some that are redwood sized in this part of the forest. You are ducking behind them, looking around them, and ahead, like you're traveling, I would say parallel to the path. You're not on the path itself, just in case. And ahead in a clearing, Argus, what you would recognize likely as an optimal choke point, is a sled that has been tipped over. And you can clearly see from the distance where you're at, there is red in the snow. There is likely blood in the snow. You do not see any movement. You do not see anybody around.
It's
Of course,
a trap.
of course it's a trap. Of course it's a trap. But the thing
Yeah.
is, oh no.
I mean, we're still following along, like out of distance behind them, but you guys, that's That looks like a trap.
Oh god. Is Argus within whispering distance, or do I need to mime to Argus?
You can say that you all are next to each other. You both rolled incredibly well on stealth.
Otherwise,
so
I'll just slink my way to Argus and just pop up behind next to him. Argus. Where do you think they're hiding? You think someone's dead? Where do you think they're hiding?
Does the blood look fresh on the ground, or does it look?
That's tough to tell. And here's a weird thing that I know from real life: blood never leaves snow. It is if you bleed in snow, like for Antarctic scientists who might bleed in the snow, it will stay there literally forever until other snow covers it. And if you clear that snow, the blood will still be there forever. It's like you've literally stained something. So it's
I know you have time to go into it, but I feel it's worrying that you know this from real life. You just like casually threw that out there. Blood.
I know a lot of weird things.
They'll never find the bodies, and blood never leaves snow, so it's fine. That's just so casual.
Derek is a font of knowledge, honestly.
Okay.
Liz knows this. I lived in Alaska for a little bit. I trained sled dogs, so
I Alaska, I guess.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
As soon as you say Alaska, people think, blood, snow, Alaska.
Yeah,
check.
blood and
Makes
snow,
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Alaska also has the highest rate of missing persons, but that has nothing to do with me.
What?
What?
Additional fun fact. So yes, to address your question, hard to tell how fresh it is. I will say there's no like any smoke anywhere. You do see a couple of weapons lying on the ground. Again, there's no bodies. There's blood and snow. There's no pack animal attached to this. It's very similar to the size sled you have. So a huge size sled tipped over on its side. That's kind of what you can see from the distance that you are.
Right.
Okay. If Mochi wants to like arc around a little, make sure there's no body like behind the sled or anything, or someone wounded.
Okay. I'm not going to make you do another stealth check.
Thank you.
Continuing to move through the trees, quietly hiding in the shadows. You get around to the other side of the sled, and there's nobody there.
Okay.
Yeah, again, at a distance, you don't see any people. You don't see people hiding behind the sled. Again, you see, probably because it's in a shadow, the shadow's being cast, like the light is hitting the bottom end as it's sitting on its side, and then the shadow is cast behind it. But you're pretty sure that even in this shadow, you can see a much larger former pool of blood that has stained the snow.
Totally random question. Are they still like technically within earshot?
If you yell, yes.
Okay.
I will say that you could probably yell through the forest and there would be enough of an echo that you might be able to determine what the other person was saying. They would at least be able to hear yelling. So in that sense, yes. But also if they were to yell, they would absolutely give their position away.
Oh, for sure. It was more, I was curious with Marley's uncommon item, if she would be able to hear them whispering, if it would pick up what they've said so that she has
Whispering probably not.
Whispering probably not. Okay.
Yeah, if they're out of eyesight, they would have to definitely yell for you all to hear.
Okay.
Mochi's gonna wait for Argus to do something, because all Mochi was interested in was if there's wounded, and if there isn't, she's happily letting Argus take the lead.
Go ahead,
Speaking from experiences, would this look like a trap's already been set off, or is it still waiting to be tripped if this was a choke point trap?
So if Mochi kind of conveys to you that there's nobody behind the sled, that's going to read weird to Argus, because that's the obvious trap, right? They hide in the shadow behind it. They jump out as soon as somebody gets close because they think there's blood. They probably don't predict that they're going to be going up against two people that rolled 24 and 25 on their stealth. So yeah, they're probably just looking to overwhelm and outnumber whoever the next caravan is going to be, the Good Samaritans. There would probably be a number of them hiding behind the sled, or at least where Mochi could see. Mochi went around in the forest. If anything, Mochi would be where the bandits would be, and hasn't seen any. So, passive perception of 18, you look up the trees. There's nobody there. It's odd that there's no one here. You're kind of getting the vibe that, because here's the other thing: if the trap had been set off, the bandits are probably not going to take the bodies. There's no reason for them to.
Mhm.
You know, if anything,
Yeah.
they would take whatever they could use off of them, anything warm, any weapons, and leave them there. There's no reason, there's because we're not dealing with cannibalism in this game, so there's no reason for them to take them.
I think with them saying all that and them reporting that there's no Mochi reporting that there's no one behind the caravan, no one in the trees, Mochi can see visible confusion as Argus is like, there's all the setup of a trap, but no one to set it off or be there when it sets off.
Maybe the people setting up the trap froze to death already.
Freezing to death, we'd see bodies.
Yeah, maybe they're like under a snow pile.
Where's all the blood come
Indeed.
from?
Good question. Do we want to wait for the rest, or do we want to experiment now? Because I have a terrible idea.
What's your idea?
Invoke duplicity and just walk a little raccoon right down the middle of the road.
We're still hidden, so
Yeah.
technically we're the ones trapping whoever's down there, if there's someone down there.
Oh, those trickery clerics.
Good idea.
I mean, thank you. Is there like a bend in the road or something, Derek, that I can make it look like
Sure.
duplicate Mochi can come? Okay, so there'll be basically Mochi, but a little taller, a little more buff, a little more rotund, like the way Mochi looked before there was a
Rotund.
5-year winter and everything was rationed.
Okay. Yeah.
And a shield and mace equipped. Like she's looking like she's striding in front of a caravan she's protecting, because that is definitely what is going on right now. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can't see your experience through because it's just an illusion. Okay.
I can't cast spells through her, but I use my own
Yes.
senses. Yes.
So I'm gonna say, yeah.
This is the
Beefy
first
Mochi.
idea ever.
Beefy illusion Mochi
Beefy
goes-
illusion Mochi.
goes strolling down the road, absolutely looking like she's looking for a fight. Yeah, weapons in hand. You both watch as this illusory Mochi strolls down, gets to the point where the grove is kind of opened up a little bit, this break in the trees where the sled is tipped over. How far is she? Is she walking up to the sled? Is she walking past the sled? Where are we
Oh,
going?
no, Mochi will absolutely make, like, I actually picked performance for some reason, so she'll act like, oh, a sled, da-da-da, and, like,
Okay.
look around,
So-
because there is a suspicion, like, she'll act like a proper illusion who is shocked that there is a sled in the middle of the road where there could be a trap.
Yes, oh man, if Liz, if Marley's magic item was here, you could have captions for this silent movie. You see the illusory Mochi go, like, walking over, like, puts their arms out, looks around with a hand,
Yep.
waves a
Piano
little
in the
bit.
background somehow for some reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Walks around the other side of the sled, like, looks to you both like an actor who doesn't know what to do, like they can't find their mark, and just shrugs.
All right.
Yeah, nothing has
Nothing
triggered
happens.
from your correct.
All right.
think
I just look at Argus, and I'll shrug along with, like,
Argus
illusory
just
Mochi.
walks on. Argus just
Okay.
walks down the hill they are at and just walks.
Okay. All right, so walking towards the sled.
Yeah.
Great. So walking towards the sled, go ahead and give me investigation checks.
I did not pick that one. I hope Argus has got this one.
18 plus 1, 19.
Nice. You got some Dang, good rolls. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, D&D
Two.
Beyond.
Okay.
There's a
Mochi-
reason I didn't get into wizarding school.
Yeah. Mochi, you are consumed with how good you used to look as you're just looking in this illusory mirror. Argus, looking around, definitely blood in the snow. Probably something you have seen before. Again, no bodies, but the thing that you note are tracks. And what you see are likely humble folk tracks. Bird folk, humble folk, different paws. And then there's another type. Very large, bird-like taloned tracks. I'm going to double check the number of toes. So,
Be accurate.
yes, 3 main talons, one kind of back, so much like a predatory bird might have, that are very deep, dug into the snow. And you can see a lot of them like where the blood is. Also with an 18, I'll give you this. You can also see there are marks in the snow, these wide marks where it looks like something might have taken off, something with wings might have spread them, pushed off of the ground, taken off.
Gotcha.
But I will give this, you are not attacked. You look up, you do not see what this thing could have been. It does not seem to still be in your area.
Is this cart like in our way?
No, it's off to the side. It's kind of like there's a clearing, sort of, where like you could potentially make camp. If you did want to push a little bit further than that halfway point. But yeah, no, just a natural clearing. The path is still available to you. And I'll say it's probably around this time that the rest of your party does catch up with you.
So just for note again, say you said there were many tracks of humble folk, but
Yes.
then there's also this big predatory bird.
Yeah, they definitely look like talons.
That
Yeah,
swooped around and just took people.
probably picked them off. Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. Terrifying. Love that. Thanks. Thanks. All right, make sure I got that notes.
So as the rest of you now are arriving to this crime scene, as Detective Argus and Detective Mochi are putting on their sunglasses, what would you all like to do?
The illusion also puts on sunglasses. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
I love
okay.
this.
Yeah.
I will be using the full minute.
Takes a long look at this illusion of buff Mochi with sunglasses and goes, right, so safe then.
All good. Well, for us, someone else got grabbed, but we're good.
Several people got grabbed. This
Alright.
was definitely
Got grabbed.
a trap, but homophobic.
Anything on that cart? Anything on that cart we can use?
Cart was empty, right?
The cart was empty. Yeah.
Can we use the actual cart? Can Buttercup pull an extra empty sled so we just have an extra sled?
Sure. And actually, I'll give you this. The cart was empty of like grain or any type of food. I will say it has supplies on it. So there's like the standard stuff you would have. There's some extra rope, some extra chain. I'll give you this. There were actually some rations as well. The bench kind of lifts up. There are rations inside the bench. This was potentially a trap. Potentially this was another caravan that was traveling along that got attacked by whatever. Yeah. Maybe got by bandits first.
One bird that I can tell.
Hard to tell. There are multiple tracks of it, and it's kind of hard to tell how many there necessarily were.
Gotcha.
You rolled pretty well. I will tell you, there's more than one that you would be able to reason out, which is to the point where like there's overlapping at a certain point where it would only make sense for there to be more than one.
Right.
So Mochi is going to take her shield off of Buttercup for reasons of feeling slightly nervous right now.
Yeah,
I
reckon we don't stay in this
Buttercup's
clearing too
AC.
long. Oh, will you give me Buttercup shield plus shield AC?
Yeah, Buttercup's proficient with shields. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hung my shield
Absolutely.
on Buttercup when I went sneaking and now taking
Put it
it
on
back.
her
But
like
if
a
we
hat.
get attacked, I will happily cast shield on Buttercup. If anyone's worried about that, don't worry.
Right.
Duly noted.
Just give Buttercup a shield of faith and golden.
I
Well,
love it.
let's keep moving. This clearing does not look friendly. It's good that we got some extra rations and stuff, but Well, you know what they say about snow and blood.
No.
Stays forever.
Stays forever. He knows.
Okay.
Right.
Continuing then on your path, I guess you're taking the sled, hooking it up behind, doubling your supply. That's a good thought.
Is that gonna impair Buttercup at all, or is it just fine?
I think it'll be fine because that's the other thing. You're traveling in the snow. It's not going to have it's essentially like traveling with wheels. Buttercup will still be able to pull
okay,
it.
Cool.
Yeah, huge size beast. You'll still be able to pull that.
Can't believe I agree with Buttercup, but okay.
Yeah, use the name. You can't go back now.
Voldemort catch himself saying,
Join us. One of us. Just give Buttercup an extra good berry at night and we'll be golden.
It feeds even a huge-sized creature, weirdly enough.
Oh, wow.
All right. So continuing to travel along the path, you're getting past noon at this point. You did keep traveling. Mochi and Argus were able to. You didn't lose any time. I'll give you that. You at a certain point, I will get perception checks from everybody as you're just hitting like the afternoon point, keeping an eye out. You don't really hear anything. That's kind of the scary, sad thing about winter in a forest is it's very quiet.
So quiet.
You listen out for any little thing and you really hear nothing aside from the crunch of your own footsteps until you do hear something. So I will get perception checks from everyone. And if you have anything for listening specifically, this would apply to that.
Okay.
I'm gonna very quietly cast guidance on myself because freaking guidance.
Oh, you know what? Good point. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
why not cast guidance myself as well?
Exactly.
It's the spam spell for a reason.
Yeah.
21.
Well,
Shoo.
19.
16. But if it's actually within earshot, I would have captions for it.
Okay. The captions say crunch, crunch, crunch. They're footsteps.
Neat.
Oh.
Do they how do the captions appear for you?
They're on an ear cuff, so they're like illusory captions that just kind of like sit along the bottom of my vision.
Okay.
Only Marley can see. It's not
Yeah.
like
Right.
yeah. They're
We don't
Yeah.
see crunch, crunch, crunch.
Correct.
Right.
you're not. Well, you would probably see it backwards. Yeah.
I got a 10.
Dirty
Okay.
20.
All right. For those of you above 15, so sorry, Clarence, maybe humming along on that pan flute.
Yeah.
Um,
Going too
for-
hard.
you definitely hear
Shredding.
at least you hear multiple crunches in the sense that there's again an overlap, so there's at least more than one being moving through the snow up ahead around a bend.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Footsteps.
Yeah. Several pairs of footsteps.
More than our footsteps?
Yes.
Yeah, Clarence. No, not our footsteps. Just
Oh, okay.
outside the footsteps.
Oh, okay.
You can just see Mochi internally go, how did you get in and I did not? I'll unsling my shield. Just go up and to the side a little bit. Nobody touches Buttercup.
All right. Rounding the bend, as you all prepare for whatever you think this is going to be, you see two humble folk. And also, I should have noted this. I'm going to use humble folk for all beings, including bird folk, because I think it's weird that they're separated. I get
so
why
they're like they're kind of like the fancy elves this world, though, right? They're like the better than you type.
Yeah, I don't love it. So I'm going to use humble folk for everyone that is a humanoid. We'll use the humanoid term here. So you do see that there are two perch guard. Perch guard are like the standing army police force-esque sort of. They're the town guard, city guard, Humblewood guard for all of Humblewood. So there's two of them that have kind of rounded the bend. They wear simple armor. It is metal armor with these tabards that have the symbol of the Alderheart on them. They're both carrying halberds and are otherwise have bundled themselves as well as they could while still maintaining like military dress code. So there's a lot of hoods to them, and you do see a raptor, and you see a servant. Yes. And they have stopped when they see you, and the servant, which is a deer folk, and the raptors are predatory birds, much shorter than the servant. I should know. The servant kind of waves their arm. Hello there.
Hello.
Marley
Hello.
stands up a little bit straighter and sheaths her sword.
And they go to approach all of you.
I'll put the shield away as well.
I guess.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Sorry.
Argus will stay a little more back in the back of the cart as everyone's like saying
Mhm.
hello as he won't say
Yeah.
anything.
And Voldemort leans back and like, "Evening, officers. What's got you out here?"
Oh, just doing our patrol, as it were, sir. This is the raptor. So this is like a red-tailed hawk-esque raptor, very bundled up. And again, the servant appears as a doe, standard white-tailed deer servant.
Hmm.
My name is Edmund. This is Mabel. We are just on patrol. Happen to have seen anything out of order, have you?
Oh, are you here to investigate the brutal murder we discovered a few yards back?
Marley like literally like just does one of these, like just like looks off into the distance, just like
Yeah.
can't fucking believe that was just said out loud.
They look at each other and then look at Mochi.
Maybe
I'm
tone it
sorry,
down when mentioning brutal murders, Mochi. Like, just
Right.
you seem really excited about it.
Did you say brutal murder?
Well, I assume so, because we did see blood but no bodies, so usually when there's like tons of blood and no body, it's gotta have been brutal, right? Right, no, wait, toning it down. Hang on. They taught me I have exercises for this.
But you know, the first law of the Alderheart says no body, no crime. So there's also that.
Oh, then we're
Maybe
good.
somebody had
Then
a
nothing.
terrible
Then we,
bloody nose.
yeah, then we saw nothing at all, and those are definitely both our carts.
Can I?
Yeah, what I said was
sorry.
not just canon.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. I was like, "Can I have all insight?" What?
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah. I'm terribly sorry that you saw that. There's the cart back there, you say, and blood everywhere.
Awful. And blood's forever in the snow, you know.
Awful as well. Oh, gods. Well,
Mochi will make whatever gesture mark you make for her goddess. I'm sure there's something.
it's just a raccoon eating, which is just like.
That's cute.
Our condolences.
Thank you for your blessings. You have a bit of a journey back to the Alderheart. Would you care for an escort? We are more than happy to send out more of the Perch Guard to investigate that scene, but I certainly don't want to leave, you simple common folk, unarmed, sweet little babies out in the wood, just totally helpless. Can't lift a finger to
now I
save
am doing an
yourselves.
inside check.
Definitely. Can we inside check this bullshit?
Now I'm
Because
inside checking.
I also have a question. Like, does Marley recognize them, or if she thinks that they're actually part of the Perch Guard, like, do they look like young and fresh? Like,
Yeah, go ahead. Insight checks all around.
I got a 17.
Okay.
hang on, I have a decent insight.
13.
I do not somehow.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Everything that's on wisdom is good for me, basically.
19.
I got a nat 20 for a total of 20.
Yeah.
Yes,
Why you
go
got into
Clarence.
college?
For those of you in the 15 to 19 range, these are Perch Guard. They are younger, much to Marley's thought. Marley does not recognize them. They probably have joined the Perch Guard in the last couple of years, and Marley would at least know this because Perch Guard get fed. You know, joining the service makes sure that you have a warm bed to sleep in and at least, you know, enough rations to keep you going. They are talking down to you because they are essentially like National Guard in a time of crisis. They
really don't like that.
Yeah, they are looking down on you because, again, they have things that you do not, and are not necessarily abusing their power, but
They're just feeling themselves.
Yeah, they think more highly of themselves. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, for Clarence with the above the 20, you can definitely tell that they were probably like they if they're doing their patrol, it's past midday at this point. Their patrol is probably a day's journey back and forth. They're also dragging their feet and are looking for a reason not to have to investigate.
Lazy coppers.
Yeah, they're looking for an opportunity to go back to the Alderheart where they know they're going to have a warm bed tonight and not have to stay out here, investigate a potential crime scene, and camp out where they could potentially be eaten. So that's the up and down.
It's the no body, no crime.
Yeah.
that's my bullshit. Don't put that on them.
That was pretty good. It was pretty good though.
As a professional pedant, can I point out that you've completely left out the 20 because it went 15 to 19 and then 21 and
I'm sorry,
up.
it was
No,
the 20 and
over
above.
20. Over 20
Yeah,
they were like being
the
lazy.
15
Over
to 19
20
was
does
the one
not
above
include 20.
I apologize. I apologize for leaving out the one number.
The one I got. It felt very targeted. Honestly,
Ooh.
deeply
Absolutely,
personal.
Anniek. Absolutely.
Yep.
Always a year.
I knew it. I knew it.
So yes, Anniek, you would pick up on the same thing that Clarence did.
Clarence and Mochi lock eyes as we come to this realization.
Oh, we've dealt with people like this before in the Avian.
So Clarence is gonna just. I imagine Clarence was on top of Buttercup as the guard approached, and Clarence has now slid down off Buttercup and is just next to Mochi and just kind of gives Mochi like a little elbow. I was like, you got this one.
Thank you so much, oh wonderful Perch Guard members, for your kind and generous offer. But as you can see, and I gesture to like Clarence and Marley, who looks awesome at all times, and trying not to draw attention to Argus and Volrol, and like include Buttercup in the grand sweep. We are perfectly happy to struggle along by ourselves while you, oh brave and clever, intelligent Perch Guard folk, go investigate that brutal murder back there and get all the glory for solving the crime upon your return.
Yeah. All the glory. Remember all of the high awards that you can get? You could become the top guard of the Avium. That's the highest honor.
Instant promotion. Instant
Right.
promotion when you solve this.
Plus, you could do your jobs. It's got like a long drag on this.
Helping.
Yes,
Definitely helping.
you all are absolutely correct. It is our, they look at each other, our duty. Well then, Edmund, best be to it. Safe travels to all of you.
And to you.
Yeah.
Marley gives him like a smart salute as she walks by.
I imagine Claris and Mochi have matching shit-eating grins.
Definitely.
Fantastic. They are absolutely sharing the brain cell today. Wonderful. Well, that is a perfect time to take our break. So we will be back in 10 to 15. Go ahead and do the things. Take care of yourselves, pet your pets, whatever. I just want to remind everyone that this campaign, this 12-week campaign, is in support of Fauna and Flora International. You can impact this game and support that wonderful cause by donating to the Tiltify. Just a reminder that the amounts are in pounds, not in American dollars. So if you're in the US, be aware of that exchange rate. Take care of yourselves. We will be right back. Hi, Burr, it's cold. That's not a good one. Welcome back to Humblewood, the Unwelcome Winter.
Wait,
I'm
no,
Derek.
go again. Pick another one. Try
Yeah,
again.
no, that's. I'll keep trying. We have
Burr,
12
it's
sessions.
cold.
I'll figure it out. Yeah. Ooh, it's chilly. Welcome to Humblewood, the Unwelcome Winter. Welcome back. We are in our premiere episode. We are now in the second half of it, as our wonderful party has discovered some sketchy stuff, some more sketchy stuff, and I'm sure they've got some questions, but hey, they've got other stuff to do. I do want to remind you all that if you do want to impact our game and support a wonderful foundation, a wonderful charitable foundation, that these incredible people have chosen to, instead of getting any type of financial support for themselves through Pally, they have chosen for this game to support Fauna and Flora International. You can impact our game and support that charitable cause by donations through our Tiltify, which you can find in chat. And if you hit certain donation levels, you can, like I said, impact our game. Bear in mind that the donation levels are in pounds and not in US dollars, because that's what that's the money the foundation wants. They don't want our dirty president money.
No, we don't. We want sweet. Oh no, it's not the Queen anymore. Well, we want the sweet king money.
I was wondering how that changes over.
It's
but that's not
weird.
what this game's about. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Pan's brain about that later, or I'll Google it and not bother Pan to question everything about the country. Let's jump back into it. So you all are more than halfway there. You're actually more than 3/4 of the way to the Alderheart. It's getting to the point where, as you look up through breaks in the trees, you can see this mountain of a tree ahead of you. You know, it's like when you can see mountains in the distance and it's like, are we getting closer? I can't tell. It's so big, how can it get any bigger? And yet you all know you've done this travel at least once before. You've seen the Alderheart. It's a city tree. It's almost a small country in and of itself, with the population that it has, and with the sheer size of it. It is the heart of this forest, from which the rest of the forest kind of extends outward from. Anything that you all wanted to do before we get to the Alderheart?
I think Mochi's just sort of sitting next to Clarence on Buttercup at this point. Assuming
Okay.
Buttercup, being a large creature, can handle a bunny, a raccoon, and two cards.
A huge creature, in fact. Yes, I would say
Huge!
that
Oh, Buttercup's fine.
Yeah, Buttercup's shoulders are big enough for the two of you to sit side by side.
Beautiful. I'll
Yeah.
sit next to Clarence, who... I mean, I met Clarence in the avium,
Mm-hmm.
but Mochi technically is from the Alderheart. So I don't know if Clarence is listening, but Mochi's telling family stories. Big raccoon family, big tree, big parties, and Mochi's just going through what every cousin was doing last time she heard about them. She's telling about the latest thing her father blew up by accident on purpose. So Mochi's next to Clarence and just talking. No idea if Clarence is listening. Doesn't matter. But Mochi's very excited. Like, this is a view of home. And she's very, very excited to be going back there.
Yeah, a home perhaps for some. I think, definitely all of you have been to the Alderheart before. It's one of those places that it's kind of hard to not go to at certain points. Like, if you need things, you kind of have to end up going to the Alderheart, and it because it is the center of all things, kind of like the all roads lead to Rome sort of deal. So yeah, maybe you have connections there. I would love to see how those connections play out. But Pan, you had something before we got there. You're muted.
Sorry,
There
I'm
you go.
muted, yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
I was just asking what kind of time of day it was.
Yeah, so we're late afternoon at this point. It's probably going to be just as the sun is going down with these. Because here's the weird thing. Even though it is a winter, you are technically in the season, like the general season of spring currently.
Right.
So the days are actually getting longer, even though the snows aren't melting, which is kind of a weird thing. So it will probably be the sun going down right as you are getting to the Alderheart.
Okay.
All right. So as you all go to approach, you start seeing more and more caravans, more and more sleds coming from different paths along the way. You're actually like kind of almost getting in line in a sort of way. There's traffic now that you've gotten off of the back roads and you're now onto the main roads. So you start seeing other humble folk traveling as well, some with smaller sleds, some from the larger towns that have a couple of animals, giant goats, giant elk, different types of beasts of burden. You were probably the only ones with a Gargath. The Gargath is rare in the Humblewood. It is actually an animal from another part of the world of Everden. But you would definitely find more local fauna that are being used as pack animals. So yeah, you definitely see people from Ironroot, you'd see people from Timber Split, from Maple Lark, from Red Lantern Reach, maybe even farther out. There are bigger towns aside from the Alderheart as you go further out. Ash Barrow is a big hub. Bracken Mill's a big hub, but at a certain point, places like Apple Lodge, places like Long Whistle, they're having to go even further than they normally would to get supplies. And you can see that there's, again, a line. You get in line with the caravan. There are perch guard that are starting to light lanterns and are starting to walk along, make sure that everybody's behaving themselves. Nobody's causing any scuffles or getting, road rage. Road rage is terrible with giant mountain goats. Yeah, it gets real rough. Yeah. It's a bad fender bender when your goat breaks a horn.
Two like horns.
Giant mountain goats. Okay, that is what you said.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. As our group kind of merges into this line into the Alderheart, Marley pulls up her hood. She's not like trying to be overly sneaky, but she's definitely trying to keep a low profile.
Same with Argus. Argus is
yeah. And again, like pulling up a hood nobody cares. Yeah, but absolutely. Trying to keep your faces obscured. You were not the only ones, but maybe for your own purposes. Great. So you're getting closer and closer. You can see that, because there are gates to the Alderheart. As you look up, you can see, branches extending outwards. If you really squint, you could maybe even see bird folk traveling from branch to branch. But it is like a skyrise on top of a skyrise. It is probably the tallest thing, even taller than any building we have in our world. The Alderheart extends upwards, into the point where like the upper branches are in the clouds. And you can see, like I said, perch guard that are traveling. You can see that everybody's being ushered kind of inside the gates just to make sure that, nobody's sketchy, nobody's bringing in anything they're not supposed to. Perch guard are kind of checking, and they're also getting the papers from your town to see how many rations, how much your supplies you're actually supposed to be getting. Your turn arrives, and you see that there is a Mapak perch guard who asks for your papers. I assume one of you would have the papers on you, and they are provided, and looks them over. Berchia, yes?
Yes.
All right. Well, you have one more sled than we were expecting. I think we'll be able to give you probably 2 tons this time around. Which you all would know is incredibly small for what you need. You've been getting upwards of like 6 tons, even on like short days. This is maybe enough for 3 weeks, maybe for your population.
Why so stingy this time around? 2 tons? It's nothing.
That's charitable as far as things actually are. We're running short here. If your people didn't prepare well enough in Berchia, that's not the problem of the Alderheart, and it has been more than charitable enough for us to give you as much as we have so far.
Oh, so now we're getting blamed for a 5-year-long winter?
Nobody's here to blame, but, everyone has to prepare for themselves. And we can't just be giving handouts left and right.
Even so, this is far too little. Maybe we can meet in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, what about 3 tons?
What? No, the middle we're looking like 5. 3 is also not great.
Oh, yeah, 5 tons. What about 5 tons?
Yeah,
there we go.
Tons, what she said.
Clarence did math. Marley, I would like
How did you get into school and I didn't?
It was not even math.
What kind of perception check are we looking for?
Visual. This is a visual perception check. Clarence absolutely gives me like a Legally Blonde sort of vibe. That, like,
yeah, I'm getting that.
You got into the avium? Yeah, like it's hard.
Oh gosh, what a mood. Okay.
Look, I'm highly intelligent, but I'm not very wise.
That's a 17.
Okay. So as you're doing this back and forth, and the Mapak is actually like kind of waved over for some other perch guard. Even from like the amount of time it's taken to get through this line, you can tell there's been arguing, and they're kind of like getting used to the fact that like they need other people to come in just to move along, sort of deal.
Sure.
However, as another perch guard is walking over, Marley, you recognize the face of someone that you've not seen for quite some time, who kind of taps the approaching perch guard on their shoulder, sets them aside. This is a taller individual. They are a Linelli, which again is one of the homebrew folk. This is a badger folk, who comes over to the Mapak. I'm sorry, what's the problem here? Well, they're looking for way too much food for what we can afford to give them, and looking to starve us out is what it is.
And what you said.
There is I wish that I could express the internal conflict that is going on right now, because there's like the desire to be like, oh hey, I know this person, maybe they can help us out, and also I don't want this person to recognize me. I want to pull my cloak further over my head.
Give me a stealth check. This is you trying to hide yourself.
There it is. Okay, sorry. It's a 12. Not great.
Okay. As you are pulling your cloak over this badger, who's finely dressed, I should note. Warmer clothing. It's padded. This is like a quilt doublet with a sash that's actually like pinned at their shoulder. Dressed very nicely and standing very tall. Kind of looks up and down your cart, looks at each of you, kind of like eyes stay on Argus for just a moment before they see Marley. And his eyes narrow a little bit, and he says, go ahead and give them the normal amount. We don't need to overly ration. In fact, do the same for all of them. These towns are important, these people are important. Make sure they have the food that we have been giving them. I know supplies are running dry. Just do it, please. And the Mapak just... All right, then, you can leave your whatever the hell that is right over there, and your supplies will be filled up in the morning. Until then, have a lovely stay at the Alderheart, I suppose.
Yay, thank you so much. Also, this is Buttercup, and I hope you have a great rest of
All
your
right,
day.
much obliged. I slowly push past
Move along, yeah. Don't care. All right.
And as we do, I want to size up the this badger folk, because I believe it was awfully helpful, awfully quickly.
Yeah. As they're driving the cart through, I would think that Marley probably locks eyes with him and nods, but doesn't say anything.
Okay, so Pan, how size up is in an insight check?
Yes.
Go for it.
Let's go insight.
I always want to make sure that you don't mean like detect magic or, detect thoughts, anything like that. Yeah. Always just want to double check.
I wish I could, but no. 12.
Okay. Finely dressed, probably like a lot of Linelli don't really live in the Alderheart. They are burrowing folk. They live out in places like Wixwarren and the Muckton Caverns and Willowbrook, Burrowholm. A lot of them kind of, live further closer to the roots. This is not somebody who lives in the roots of anything. This is somebody who is used to finery, but probably wasn't born into it. Is what I'm going to give you from that. I'm not sure that Volderol is up to date on current politics, but yeah, I will.
He keeps quiet with himself. But would I be able to tell at least that he is making eye contact with Marley?
I would say that. I'll give you this. You kind of scanning him, he does kind of walk over to your cart. He pulls out a little slip of parchment, and you see him jot something down with a quill, and he will place it, kind of like not even looking at Marley, but just kind of pats a paw down next to her and leaves a note.
Okay. Volderol glances at Marley, and then turns smartly back forward and keeps walking. Keeps like gently moving Clarence along as they're trying to explain everything.
Yeah. And you all enter the altar heart, which is, again, it's up. You are above the roots inside the gate, which has this large retaining area. So there are stables for your larger animals. There is a supply area where you can see that bags of grain, of corn kernels, of seeds, all of the different types of, kept foods from the food stores are being brought down. They're in sacks and they are being stacked up in piles for everyone. You can definitely tell that as they're being carried down or lowered by a winch, or carried down by hand, it's taking some time. So you also know that, by morning you will have your supplies, and until then the Gargap has a place to stay, Buttercup has food and water, and it is at least sheltered from the wind and the snow in here. The ground is dirt. It is a little muddy because of all the snow melt that is constantly coming through. But your sled travels through it just fine. It doesn't get stuck or anything. And there is a lift as well as winding stairs to either take you up into the Alderheart or down into the hollows or the roots. Where would you all like to? You have all of the Alderheart to explore for at least a day. What would you all like to do?
Mochi's talking at Clarence about how Maypac made these lifts and how her dad is named after one of the inventors of these lifts, and Mochi's kind of sort of assuming everyone's staying at her place and is just sort of walking home assuming the entire party's following, because where else, you're not going to pay for a room, right? Your family. So Mochi's just taking everybody home at this point.
Oh, my heart. How sweet.
Where is Mochi's home in the altar? Oh, I should ask. Is anyone not going to Mochi's family dinner?
Free food.
Oh, definitely going for dinner for sure.
Okay. All right.
So Mochi's like, so it's just my dad because my mom's at the avium because, school's in session and we're not going home. Well, we can, but it's kind of cold. But my dad made a shelter in the guild hall because that's warm, because that's where the pipes are for all the fabrication. So it's really cozy, and by that it means it's kind of full, but it's warm and there's food, and my dad's gonna want to meet all of you, and dinner's soonish, and then after that, if you want to go hang out, I can tell you where the best shops are. And Mochi's just going this is her turf, you are family, everything's good. I also pointed out in the break, Mochi's 8, so she's been in this winter longer than she hasn't, so this is kind of normal to her at this point. She was 3 last time there was the summer, so she's not panicking that rations are running out. We've always made do. So she's just like, you need to try the good berry stew, it's amazing. No
We've
sense of
always been
urgency.
wasteful.
Exactly, we've always been hungry. This is fine.
Yeah, Pan, to be fair, a good berry stew just is water with one good berry in it. It's very
okay. Now
it's efficient.
Okay.
It just doesn't taste.
I'm back.
We call it a stew, so it sounds better.
Yeah, it just has ice cubes in it. It's literally it's an unsqueezed juice.
Nice.
We can make a smoothie if you prefer.
Oh my goodness.
Or just crushed ice with a good berry.
So you all go to travel through the Alderheart, which again I don't think ever really loses its charm, its magnificence. It is a work of absolute miracles, which I think Volderol would know is a druid miracles, druid magic. It is carved. Carved maybe isn't the best word. It is shaped by the Tenders. The Tenders are a druidic order based out of the Alderheart, who were the first ones to actually shape the woodland realm to allow people to live inside. It's not like you've carved into the tree to harm it all. They basically ask the tree nicely. They sing to it. They use their druidic magic to ask the tree to shape itself in a way that would create a livable space for others.
Yeah,
and
Volderol
so
definitely would recognize good work and sees it as a druid.
Yeah. And Tenders are walking about here and there. You can see that they wear the symbol of their order. Mostly walk in pairs. And every now and then, Voldemort, you will get a nod from one of them, as there's almost this druidic, unspoken recognition between the two of you.
Yeah, I'm not back.
Okay. So traveling upwards, you would take the lift until the lift stops, at which point there are stairs. So you have stopped at the trunk market, which is mostly inside the tree. You would note that any of you who have been here before the winter, there previously were windows that would refract light through mirrors and illuminate through magical torches, magical lanterns. The magical lanterns and magical torches are all lit, but that natural light that was kind of like the mirror system would illuminate the entire market. Those holes have been closed. They have tried to keep as much of the outside snow and wind from coming in. So it is dimmer in here than it typically would be, for those of you who do remember that. But the market is still active as much as it can be. I'll take insight checks from anyone who might be paying attention.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, it's a nat 20. The 23.
Nice. Okay. I think everybody's had a damn nat 20 today.
It's nice. Nice.
I haven't had a single nat 20. I had a nat 19.
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Not yet.
Insight?
Insight.
17.
Okay.
Isn't that one? Like on the other side of the spectrum.
I was actually going to say, Marley,
Had
because
happened.
if you want to pick up on people who are there are whispers going about. So if you want to pick up on like captions from people, you could roll perception for that.
I was gonna say alternately, I think maybe Marley's kind of like focused on this little note that's probably burning a hole in her pocket.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Let me know when and if you would like to read that.
Oh, I think if everybody else is kind of like oohing and eyeing and paying attention to what's going on around them, she's definitely like with her little paws over here reading whatever is on this note.
Yeah, we can say that you all are like tourists in Times Square, which is to say
I live
severely
here.
underwhelmed. Yeah.
That doesn't mean you don't take in the like you are in tourist like
I actually think that's appropriate.
I'm the tour guide.
And I hope Christian appreciates this. Is that as a local, you would go, this place is terrible. Like the M&M store isn't worth it. We should absolutely go somewhere else.
Oh, exactly. Don't look at that Chinese sign over there. You want that kind of ramshackle building over to the left and 2 sides down.
So Marley, what the note says is it addresses you by your name, and it basically asks you to that evening. I'm trying to pull up my map here. Arrive at the Council Plaza, which is nearly at the very tip top of the tree, and it is signed by the Badger, and gives his permission for your party to join as well. As you all keep moving about, I will note one thing. Argus, you specifically, I'll hand this to you. You note a number of wanted posters have been put up. Might even recognize some faces. Yours is not among them. Let's see, for insight. So going through the market, it seems sketchier than maybe you previously remember. Maybe to somebody like Mochi, this is normal, but it has more of a black market feel to it, in the sense that like food is scarce, goods are scarce, and you know the tenders do what they can to do things like Goodberry to try to grow crops within the Alderheart itself, but there's only so much you can do. So you're kind of getting the idea that like food has almost taken on the concept of currency. That currency can also buy food and goods. So you have like the front part of the market, and then there's the back part as well. And yeah, I would say, Marley, if you do look to anyone, if you are with the observant feed, if you are trying to get captions, there's a lot of back alley dealings happening here where people are trying to acquire more supplies for themselves and trying to trade valuable things, magic items, family heirlooms. Just there's a sense of desperateness, to the market where you are. But traveling further along, unless any of you did want to do any shopping, you continue up to the boughs. The buildings here are all wooden as well. Like literally, like the tree has shaped a building for people to live in or for people to shop out of. And you see there are a number of little holes as well that have these circular doors to them that you presume that's where people live as well. Again, a lot of them towards the inside of the tree, where people don't have outside windows to the outside. So you travel up this semicircular staircase. It's a winding staircase that goes up into the tree. There are lift systems here and there that you can utilize, but before too long, you absolutely arrive up in the boughs, and you arrive at the Inventors and Smiths Guild Hall. So in the district where you are, there is this wide atrium that runs through the center, and there are these two very large, very sprawling guild halls on either side. And there's been this kind of like stuffiness where you are. Like it's not necessarily, it's still cold even inside the tree, to the point where like I think you might take off your gloves and maybe regret it a little bit, but even then it's not like the kind of cold where you're outside. It's stuffy and just chilly, like a house that has its heater off in winter.
Right.
But when the closer you get to these guild halls, you start to feel this heat emanating off of them. And it's much brighter where you are now as well. The magical lanterns are much larger, almost these magical chandeliers of sorts that are illuminating this area. And again, these two guild halls on either side. And you hear also just a bustling of activity coming from them as well. Would you like to go in, or is there anything else you all want to do? I don't want to tell you what you're doing for too long. So is there anything you all are doing?
Mochi's scampering in.
Okay.
Yeah, Clarence will go in.
Okay. Mochi, Clarence, scamper. Presumably, the rest of you follow, scampering or not. And inside, you would see a number of people. Most of them bundled up. There are cots laid out. There are bedrolls on the ground. There's not a lot of walking space. There are like designated paths in this area. But inside of the Inventors Guild, we can say that's... Actually, Mochi, did you go to the Inventors Guild or Smiths Guild?
Excuse you, there's a full name. No, the way I figured it, and I sent in the last message to you that you didn't... So, in the Maker's Way, you would have this big wide thoroughfare, and you'd have the Inventors Guild halls on the one side and the Makers Guild halls on the other side, and they both have like the really warm hot pipes. And since Mochi's dad is an incurable fixer, and B, the winter has been going for 5 years, I pictured her dad pulling people together and like covering up the top part of Maker's Way to like join the guild halls to make one big warm shelter for more people, as more and more people are traveling to the Allerheart because they can't sustain their small hamlets, whatever. So we'd be going, like Mochi would be taking a left towards the Inventor's Hall because she assumes her dad is there, but I kind of picture this like one big warm
there's
shelter.
Been a crafted tent, much like for those of us in elementary school who had the big rainbow-colored tent thing, and we all sat under it. A tent has been constructed around, and
they've connected some of the pipes that are not quite perfectly connected because they're tinkering, but...
And it's kind of like walking into a steam room of sorts with these pipes with the steam that's coming out of them. Like there is an ambient sort of mist where you are. And again, people everywhere, people that have unbundled to a point of comfort, and it is warm in here. It is probably the first time you felt all the way warm, because even when you sit in front of a fire, only half of you gets warm. But I guess there's Mochi's tent is warm too. But no, this is an actual like full body warmth. It tingles a little bit on you, and people everywhere, people that are nibbling on little bits of bread, maybe little bits of fruits or vegetables the tenders might have been able to garner. But you can also see that the Inventors and Smiths are trying to still go about their business as well, as much as they can. There are tables, there's a little bit of hammering, again, steam pouring out, some forging, and definitely a lot of tinkering. You see a lot of little pieces of little things that those humble folk with little children are trying to keep them from swallowing, like little cogs and things like that. This is definitely not toys for 4 and under.
You also see like little cues, because we're coming with like wet cloaks because everything's damp outside.
Yes.
And if you follow the system, we do this a lot in like trekking huts and climbing huts. If you follow the system, you can like take your turn drying your cloaks and like your mittens on the pipes. So as things dry, you move to like a more outer circle. So Mochi's gonna go in, take off her cape, and move everything down the way you're supposed to, because there is a system, and explains the system to the people following her, because you can't break the system because people will be upset with you. And hang her cloak up to get warm and toasty and dry.
And Mochi, you would spot one of your dad's assistants, Henry, who's a Vulpin, winter fox Vulpin. Hello, Mochi.
Henry!
You're back.
We need more supplies. Things are awful. The usual.
Of course. Your father is serving the stew. Just back over there, if you'd like to go see him. And I think some of the other families here. Your mum's not, but some of the other families here. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Clarence. Anyway, you're more than welcome to. I mean, you know the system. You know how it works.
I brought some more people. Just gonna feed them, get them more like generally gesture towards Marley and Argus and Volderol, but she's good. She's got good passive insight. She'll have noticed the pulled up hoods and the whole business. So she's not gonna name names. She's just gonna go more friends, new family. Stew, good stew.
Definitely. All right. Well, I got to get back to it. I've been working on a new brand of alchemist fire, so
Oh, you have to show me how it works tonight.
It's very volatile, so
I am deeply excited in a way that would concern my mother very much.
All right then. All right. Well, nice to meet all of you, nameless friend, family individuals, and I enjoy. Welcome home? ? All right. Bye then.
Bye, Henry. Scamper. Oh, I have the energy of an 18-year-old again.
That was exhausting just to watch.
Clarence is going to spend a few moments, because I know that there might be some individuals in our party who may not want to remove their cloak and follow the whole
You don't
process.
have to dry your cloak.
So Clarence will spend a few minutes using her prestidigitation to help clean up and stop the dripping of said individuals' cloaks as they wish.
That's so nice.
Absolutely,
Wow.
it's very nice.
Volderol suddenly smells better than he ever has.
It's just a Febreze spray.
She gets those mud out from between the toes. Just...
No.
I could put it back.
needs
Do you
that
want
mud?
it back?
I need that. It's my mug.
Oh, okay.
My
And then I'm
mug's
gonna
mud.
prestidigitation it back.
Thank you.
Here I go.
Okay.
Don't touch a druid's mud.
So you all, as you travel further in, get in line if you would like some stew. It's been a long day. You haven't eaten all day. You would see at the end of this line, in front of a pot that's being heated by a fantasy version of a Bunsen burner, is a very familiar looking mapak. Like if Mochi was a little more into steampunk and a lot older, this you can absolutely see where half of Mochi comes from. For some reason, he's wearing goggles, maybe to prevent the splash of the stew. But leather apron, lots of little tools in all the pockets, wearing gloves, and is doling out stew to all of these humble folk that are walking by with these little simple porcelain bowls. And he looks over to see you all getting in line, waves fervently. Hi, Mochi.
Hi, Dad.
Welcome
Mochi's gonna skip the line.
Oh.
She doesn't hug. She does her and her dad's secret handshake, which is mainly fist bumping and butt bumping.
Yeah.
Voldemort follows very closely behind Mochi because skipping the line is a great idea. So, do that.
Oh, we can do that.
Gonna get me a bowl of. Yeah, come on, quick, get in there.
Sorry,
And
friends
Mochi-
and family. Friends and family.
No, Mochi will like dip a bowl for herself, and while she's slurping that with like one hand, help serve with the other hand so the queue moves faster.
Okay. All right. And the queue does move faster. Volderol, like you get a couple of dirty looks, but your bowl is filled regardless. And it's a vegetable stew. It doesn't taste like super hearty, is I think the thing. Like a lot of the vegetables in it are magically grown and magically grown very quickly, and they don't really have like that time to absorb natural sunlight, and like everything it tastes artificial in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna break off one of the mushrooms that lines the end of my cloak, and just kind of crumble it into my my soup and pass the remains over to the others if they want some.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Umami.
Cloak mushroom.
Yeah. I mean, it's all mystery, but hey, that's exciting.
I mean, it's
right?
probably flavorful.
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna take a sip of my soup.
Argus, do you want me to do the thing to your soup? Like, you know, because remember the prestidigitation can also flavor up things. Want me to enhance the flavor?
I appreciate you asking. Sure, you can do that.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna do like the bunny nose wiggle. And that's how I cast my prestidigitation.
Thank you, Clarence.
Oh, bewitched style.
That's immediately what I thought of.
Yeah,
I can't do it, but just imagine.
D&D, where you can do so many things that you can't do in real life, like wiggle your nose.
Wiggle your nose. Mochi's gonna point to Marley and Clarence and Argus and Volderol, and again, let me point out her dad. So I'm traveling with them, and we found a gruesome murder today, but I'll tell you later.
Wow.
And they were gonna short us at the gate, and I don't know why they would try to short us at the gate. But then Clarence got real mad, and Volderol had to like hold Clarence back. But weirdly, it all got sorted when this badger showed up and looked funny at one of our companions. But we're getting what we need, so we're good. And I can go back, and you and Mom don't have to worry that I will starve to death for another few more weeks. Isn't it great? Keep serving soup while she's talking.
All right. Well, that's quite a bit. It's more than has typically happened on your journeys, but I'm glad you got here safe nonetheless. I know. Well, things have been busy around here, obviously, but not bad. Have missed you quite some, but how are your entrance exams going? Speaking of Mum.
Yeah, so I missed the last one, because I couldn't get there in time. But, and she will hold out a paw and also cast prestidigitation and make like a cool little light show. Look, I'm getting better. Gonna get in next time.
That's very impressive. And across the room, there's a toddler that also casts prestidigitation.
Motherfuck! No, wait. I will aim for someone else's cloak and cast Firebolt.
Whoa!
Look! I can make things explode too!
Henry, get the fire extinguisher!
I got it! Clarence is just gonna extinguish it with the prestidigitation. Like one little tiny fire at a time.
Thank you,
It would be a
Clarence.
good idea if you just show us your home rather than attacking people in the soup hall.
Oh, honey, if you think we don't attack people in our home, you've got a real weird idea of my family.
I already have a real weird idea of your family. That should be fine.
Look, there's a reason that there's a fire extinguisher for every person here.
How's that guy who was set on fire looking?
That's a lot of fire.
I think it was pretty quick that they didn't notice. Like it was a cloak. Clarence got to it pretty quick. Like they smelled smoke and turned around, and just like Mochi's dad's just waving. This has a very like Bandit Bluey feel to it.
Right.
It's
Like
like,
I said,
oh, you
it's
set something
odd
on
feeling
fire,
already.
did you, mate? Yeah, no, probably don't do that again. Listen, Mochi,
I'm gonna get it.
I'm
Magic.
Yes. Well, I'm proud
and
of
Henry's
you.
showing me alchemy fire tonight.
No, he's not. I promise you, he's not. Mochi, listen. You know that regardless of what you do, I'm proud of you. And at the end of the day, there's always room for you here at the guild. You can join me.
I know.
Camden's over there. Did you say hi to Camden?
Accidentally, Camden's the one the firebolt was aimed at.
Oh, okay. Well, you sure did then. All right.
Sure
He's
did.
doing well. All right.
Good old
Yeah.
Camden.
Talks about you all the time.
Sure he does.
And your Uncle Oakland's here, and you just.
I do like Oakland.
Do you not like Camden?
Well,
All
there's
right, well,
and then there's and then there's people I would sooner push off of the top branch.
That's the family motto.
Oh, Camden. Good old Camden. So anyway, I'm gonna get my friend settled, now that I've served enough soup to help out the line. And yeah, don't worry about me. All of your adjustments you made to my armor and weapons are still perfectly fine. A few things are making a weird ticking noise, but sure, it's fine.
Leave them on the bench, and I'll take a look at them.
Thank you. I wasn't gonna ask.
No, well, that's what we're here for.
Perfect. Did you get my letters? I've been writing letters and I don't get letters back. So is the mail system like intact? Should I not bother?
I haven't gotten any of your letters. That's very odd. Give me a perception check.
No bother. Why is my spell list so far away from my skill list? 19.
You look over as you're saying that to your rival, Camden, as your dad's looking at you with literal goggles. So there is no peripheral
No
vision.
peripheral vision.
And you watch as Camden holds up one of your letters, very clearly and very nice little script says Mochi on it, and puts it into the fire.
Shithead.
Well, I guess the mail system must be struggling with this really long winter. Yeah.
Yes, they rain, sleet, snow, or hail until it lasts for 5 years, and then where does it go?
Yep. It's they need some better people. Maybe Camden could volunteer with the Perch Guard, make things safer. Maybe you could suggest that Camden gets
That's
a job.
not a bad idea.
No, I think it's a great idea. Camden would be perfect for it.
Prestigious family like his, sure.
Exactly. Walks on patrols. The Covums, Corvids they're made for that kind of stuff, Get them out in the cold for real long.
Yeah, I heard Camden say that he actually wants to go to Brackenville.
See?
Really?
Yeah, always wanted to see it.
Well, Clarence, I know one thing, and it's the fact that you have never lied in your life, so I will absolutely take a look into that.
Okay.
What are the rest of you up to? Enjoying your stew, looking around, exploring? What would you like to do?
I think Argus has gotten his bowl, gotten it flavor, and is just sticking to a corner of the room where he can see everybody. Everything. You can see not just that, but he can see an escape route or escape routes if necessary. But he's also just being subtle about it and just keeping to himself, because I think he might be the biggest one in this room, but he's trying to stay as still as an owl does.
Yeah, he's a big guy. There'd probably be some servants in here that are taller, but definitely not they don't have the presence that Argus does.
Right.
And yeah, I definitely think that when you take up a corner, you take up a corner. Looking around, you can give me perception or insight if you want to kind of people watch, scan the room.
Sure, I'll people watch. 17.
17. Again, a lot of families in here. You see a lot of people that are just trying to keep warm. There's actually a pretty wide variety of whether they are bird folk, whether they are mammalian, therianthrope, humble folk. So it's kind of a little bit of everybody. You see a lot of simpler clothing, I will say. There's not a lot of, even though you are in the upper tiers of the Alderheart, you're not seeing people that have that style of dress. There's a blue collar sort of lower economic status to the people that are here, the people that are wanting, and you kind of get the idea that that's like what Mochi's dad has tried to cater to, is to make sure even the people at the bottom have the stuff that they need. I won't say that you recognize any faces. I don't think that there's necessarily a criminal element here. Just families, little ones, and then those that are working as well. So also trying to for those blacksmiths, they have like a little rope set up around them so they can at least pull something out of the forge and not hit somebody with it. So it's tough. There's a level of charity, and there's also a lack of utility to all of this, but work has to get done.
Hey, it's more organized than what I've been used to, so
yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, definitely warmer than what you all have been used to for a while. All right. Let's see. Clarence, you up to anything?
I'm just finishing my soup, and then at the end of the line, so there's a soup line, and then once people get their soup, then Clarence is standing right there and be like, would you like some flavor? Would you like some flavor? Want some flavor? And is now just occupying their self with that. I'm
glad that Clarence is Doritos flavor blasting everybody's stew.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm airing it around here.
Yeah, you're the new Coca-Cola machine where you can press all the different just combos of flavors.
Yes.
Come to Flavor Town.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'm from Columbus. That's Flavor Town, USA, baby.
There you go.
Oh, that's terrible. Fantastic. Marley, what are you up to?
Marley is probably sitting fairly near where Argus is, also watching people. I'm sure that there's probably a couple of folks that she may recognize, just at least if there's not general people in the populace that she recognizes. If there are any perch guards standing around, she may notice or recognize someone there. But I think she's kind of trying to figure out the easiest way to get up to the council plaza without anybody noticing her, or noticing that she's gone, I guess, because she doesn't want to take everybody else with her because she doesn't know what this is about.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, that would probably involve you having to step away when everybody's backs are turned. I will note that there are no perch guard in here because Mochi's dad knows better than to, they already have access to food, no cops.
Valid.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say that you spend enough time here that there probably are faces that you almost recognize. It's been years, people changed, you yourself have changed. And, but yeah, definitely people that you passed on the street, probably somebody that you once bought flowers from, maybe somebody that you overheard chatting in a bar one night, all varieties of people that you have that near memory of. Okay, so you enjoy your stew. I'm sorry, Volderal, I meant to ask you, Volderal, what have you been up to aside from mushrooming people's stews?
Volderal's just chilling. He's aware that this is a difficult time for everyone. So his main thing is just make sure everybody's okay. I think he'd have clocked that Marley and Argus are scanning the room from the corner, but he'll have listened to it. It's mostly about not making a scene for him.
Yeah, so you look over, you see this massive owl and then this little squirrel, both just Blues Brother-esque scanning the room.
Nice.
Okay.
Volo's aware that like Marley obviously had something with the badger, but that's their business, so he doesn't do it.
Slightly related side question.
Yeah.
Since we're in the Alderheart, would this count as a tree? Like,
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, literally, yeah.
Well, it just means that so one of Marley's things for the Gerbine is you get an advantage on stealth checks if you're in a tree.
Yeah.
So I was just
Nice,
wondering
yeah.
to myself, like, does this count as a city or would it technically be a tree?
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes
Fantastic.
to both.
Yes to both. Wonderful. Love it.
Fantastic. Also, so the day goes on a little bit. The line goes down to the point where Mochi's dad comes over to kind of address. You're split up a little bit, but just kind of like waves to all of you. Hello, everyone. I'm Rutherford Geswick Brightstream. I am the very proud father of your friend here, Mochi, and you all are more than welcome in my workplace, my home. Please make yourselves as comfortable as you can should you want to stay the night. Floor space is provided. Mochi, I'm sorry, we did have to convert your room into additional sleeping area with cots and things, and it's occupied. And we did have to throw out all of your weird band posters. Sorry about that. Can't hear you, Anniek.
I was okay until you mentioned my weird band posters.
I'm sorry, Camden said that they were very inappropriate, and I just took it at face value. I'm very sorry.
Look, Father Edward said that they helped me meditate. I think you should listen a little more to the High Priest of Titan than to Camden shit-faced Ebonheart.
I'll think about it. Yeah.
Good. No, I really do think you should, clearly you've been spending a lot of time with Camden, more than before I left. And I think that maybe he's just too afraid of your opinion to really open up about how badly he wants to join the Purge Guard. So maybe, don't talk to Camden about it, but maybe, make sure it happens and then tell him the good news.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Really
Right.
just, make it happen and then tell him the good news. So you can watch the joy on his face when you surprise him with the fabulous news.
Oh, also, I had a backwards thought, which is what I call a memory. You said something about meeting a badger down at the gates.
Yes, weirdly finely dressed for a Perch Guard. And he talked to our, honestly, I'm not sure if it was one of our cousins, because it looked like one of our cousins, but as soon as they put on the uniform, they all kind of look like one of my cousins.
We all kind of look alike, yeah.
Exactly. So it's the mask.
Yeah, it's the mask.
It's the mask. So yeah, suddenly we were allowed through, and I was like, I don't know any, noble badger Perch Guards.
I think that's one of the new council members. If he's dressed that finely, that's Lord Asher Starfellow.
Lord.
Well, a council member, yes.
Lord Asher. Who's he representing in the council?
He is Lord of, I believe, the supplies of the supplies and coin. Master of Coin, I think is the title. Something along those lines. He's basically in charge of all of the food stores now. He's in charge of making sure that the rations are adequately dealt out and measured appropriately. It's a very stressful job. The last council member just couldn't hack it.
I was about to say I didn't know the position was vacant, but that explains it.
Very briefly.
Yeah. But a council member walking the lines at the roots, that's unusual. Normally they don't come down from their lofty branches.
As I understand it, he started out small, built his name up, built a reputation, always considered himself a badger of the people.
Well, he proved a friend to Bircher today.
Good to know. If we voted on them, I'd vote for him, but that's not the kind of democracy we have.
We really need to work on that system after winter, which everyone keeps telling me only lasts a season, and yet here we are.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yes, you'll hopefully have some adapting to do. But fingers crossed, this is the year.
This is the year.
5 and done. That's what we've been saying.
Well, but first we said 4 and done, and that came after we said 3 and done, and that's
Well,
after we
that
said,
was
wow, this
3
is
is enough.
unseasonably cold.
Yeah, 3 is enough was that motto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last one was 2's good. 3 is enough.
1's better.
4,
anyway,
okay. Like that was when we were trying to be optimistic and try to like use reverse psychology. We were like, okay, 4.
yeah,
it
I
didn't
don't think the reverse psychology worked.
Apparently not. Winter is too smart for that.
Who knew? Anyway, so technically I would love to stay and chat and catch up on everyone. I'm pretty sure that when they put this on me, and she gestures to her clerically branded scale mail that has a giant raccoon mask with star symbol on it, I'm pretty sure this means I'm also supposed to check in at my temple or something.
Oh yeah. I
So
suppose you
I'm-
probably should.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna probably go to like Holy Branch.
Do your priestly duties, certainly. Yeah.
God, do I have duties? I thought I just showed up and said hi. You know what?
You might
Don't
have to
answer
bless
that.
a thing
I'm
or
gonna.
two. I don't know.
Oh, I can
don't
do
know.
blessings.
Okay.
Mm,
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Supplicate maybe a little bit. I don't know. Honestly.
Honestly, that doesn't sound like Hath.
I just do cogs and machines and math.
You're not wrong. Okay.
I can
It's
tell you what
really
the square root of 484 is. I can't tell you anything more than that. By the way, it's 22.
You used to tell me what square roots were as a bedtime story, so I'd really like to move away from bedtime math.
I thought you liked them because you like trees, and they
Yes,
also have
but-
roots.
Dad.
They aren't square though, and it's a
God.
very messed up tree.
So, yes, but as soon as you start talking about math, I get sleepy. I've been conditioned.
Just like drifting off there.
No, I have stuff to do, Dad. Come on.
Yes, A plus B equals C
No,
squared.
oh,
Yeah.
Mochi's going to put like her hands over her ears and walk away and just go, no, I'm going to Holy Branch and you can't make me stop."
Pythagorean theorem. All right. So as Mochi goes to Holy Branch, what are the rest of you doing?
So have we moved from where you were before?
Unless you want to go with Mochi. So Holy Branch is like the religious district. It's where a bunch of the temples are. Unless Mochi wanted to do that solo, you are more than welcome to go with Mochi. You are more than welcome to hang out in the guild halls, or you're more than welcome to explore anywhere else that you might want to go. If you ask for something, I'll see if it's there.
I think for now, Volvo's just gonna go over to Marley and Argus.
Okay.
And sidle up to Marley and say, Badger, a friend of yours.
Marley like deliberately kind of like looks to the side of Volderall. She doesn't like actually look him in the face at all. She just looks off to the side and she's like, you could say that.
Look, I understand your business is your business. Just want to make sure that it's nice to know we have an inn here. That's all.
Well, we'll see.
Understood.
I don't want to count our gallus before they hatch.
Nice.
No, nicely done. No, fair enough. And you, big fella, what do you make of all this?
I'm just here to make sure everyone gets around safe. If we're trying to avoid people, we can avoid people. You trying to avoid anybody?
I'm always trying to avoid people, but they keep bothering me.
What a mood.
They do keep finding you, that's true. we could help you work on that. Get you a nice thicker hood.
He looks between the two of them, like both like hooded up, like almost conspicuous in their inconspicuousness, and it's like, nah, I'm all right. I like to keep my wits about me. Peripherals aren't what they used to be, so you know, it's for the best.
Fair enough.
Speaking of peripherals, couldn't help but notice, and he turns back to Marley, that you had some literature.
What?
What do you know from your friend?
Marley like literally is like looking around the room like I literally don't know what you're talking about. She's trying real hard to play it off like no.
This is a great example of what we might consider PvP. Because what Marley is technically doing is deception. So a couple of ways that we can do this, depending on comfortability from most people. If Marley just says, Volderol believes me, that's fine. It's a secret for Marley to keep. If you would like to roll against each other, you may absolutely do that. Or it is also an option for Liz to set a DC for Marley that Volderol would have to hit based on how well she believes that she is lying. So, Liz, you being the one who is deceiving, would you like to roll against it? Would you like to set a DC, or just say?
If you want to say it's fine, Volderol isn't trying to.
Oh no, I think rolling against each other is good. Like she's literally trying to be like, nah, you didn't really see what you think you saw.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like not. I guess it's not hypercritical if he's like, no, really, I saw something. But she would prefer to keep it to herself. But I don't think it makes sense for me to just be like, no. So I like the idea.
He's not trying to pry anything out of her.
Sure.
Like you said, business is a business. But just
it's less so like it's less about Volderol recognizing that he's not overstepping a bound. It's just recognizing that Marley is being secretive about something.
Yeah.
And then up for you to interpret that how you will. So Volderol, if you want to do or insight check, and then Marley, if you want to do a deception check, please.
That is 16.
Yeah, I crushed it. Yeah, I rolled an 11.
Okay. So there's what you saw, a person who saw a UFO in your head. You're screaming, "I know what I saw." You saw the note, that Marley knows what you're talking about, but is being, obtuse about it, a little secretive. So for whatever purpose, you're not sure.
Then Volderol just gives her a look and likes to smoke. I don't know if he likes to smoke here. Actually, he doesn't care. He likes to smoke.
Okay.
He says, all right, fair enough.
I am curious. What is Volderol smoking? Is it what kind of waft are we getting off of this?
It's cloven. It's all like
Okay.
So
not overly offensive. Yeah.
No.
The steam covers it up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's pompous, but he's not an arsehole.
Yeah, he's a spore druid. I had to know if he was smoking mushrooms because I don't know how that works. And
probably speak them in there. Yeah.
They're mostly water. That's a
lot
of drying out. Yeah.
Give it a nutty flavor.
Okay. Well, as the day's going on, I think we're going to get to Holly Branch next session because we have about 7 minutes left. Marley, did you want to try to sneak away?
Yeah, I think maybe in the kind of like the aftermath of Volderol coming over and being like, yo, I saw this thing. And she's like, no, what are you even talking about? She literally, like, as that conversation dwanes, she gets up and just walks away from the table and just walks out the door. So, like, she's not trying to be sneaky about the fact that she's leaving, but she's literally just like, I don't want to have this conversation right now, and I'm going. And her attitude is very much like that, where everybody's kind of like, maybe we don't follow her.
That's fine. Yeah, no, not at all. Like, you just watch her go and be like, just like, yeah, I thought so, and then just like carry on from there.
Yeah, you better go. You better walk on.
It's when someone like way too aggressively says, "I have to use the restroom." It's like, okay.
All right.
I guess
to that note, though,
Marley and Arya's just sitting next to one another
Yeah.
in the corner.
Yeah.
So you just up and leave. You don't say anything. Just
Nope.
up and leave. I think Argus
Say bye.
takes note of that and doesn't do anything. It's their
Okay.
business.
So Argus and Volderall staying behind. Clarence, you staying behind as well, or would you like to sneak a sneak?
You know, I think Clarence. I think Clarence is gonna sneaky sneak because
Oh, wow.
because they care.
Okay, so I think this is 3 rolls. Marley, I'm presuming that you're going to try to be stealthy. Okay, so Marley, well, actually, let's start here. Clarence, go ahead and roll for stealth. And you're going up against passive perception for Marley. Unless,
Oh.
Marley, you actively wanted to look behind you while you're leaving.
No, I'll take my passive for sure. Yeah.
That was a 19 for stealth.
So, Clarence, you are not
Wow.
seen by Marley. Marley,
Okay.
however, go ahead and roll for stealth. And you are inside of a tree.
And I guess there's probably like other people walking around and
Yeah.
like making noise and stuff. Okay, so Clarence's footsteps would be completely lost in the cacophony of subtitles that's going on Marley's
Oh, man.
screen.
Yeah,
For
your
lack of a
screen
better
just says
word.
like murmur, 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 like
Yeah.
crowd noise. Yeah.
Oh,
And also
fuck.
to the other point, you both are smaller individuals kind of moving about the active area of the Alderheart. You both can kind of get lost in a crowd.
I rolled a 6.
Oh,
With advantage?
oh, advance, yeah.
Oh, advantage! Thank
You're
you.
in a tree.
Yes,
You're in a
I
tree.
am in a tree.
You also have rerolls from our
Oh,
nice
that's right. We do
donators.
have
Oh,
rerolls.
yeah.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
I have those written down. It's a 14.
We'll try to display those on screen as well. I'm sorry, Liz, it was 14?
14, yes.
14. Okay. Okay. So, Clarence, you kind of, you sneak out after Marley, ducking around corners, trying to keep an eye, unseen as far as you are, pulling your ears back even. But as the crowd
Tucking
kind
them
of,
under your hat.
Sorry, can I just ask? Can I roll just to see if I see Clarence go off?
Yeah.
What's that again?
the perception.
Cool. 24.
Yeah, you saw Clarence. Yeah.
Watches Clarence go off again. Doesn't say anything, just like shakes his head.
Yeah, the whippersnapper's out there and about. Marley the whippersnapper.
Yeah, I think I just offer Argus a cigarette and just carry on.
No, but who is older, Marley or Volderall? Like, I know respective, because races match up weird. Like, race-wise, which one of you is like, I don't want to say closer to death, but who's older?
Wow. I think Marley
Great
seems
question.
older. Yeah,
Age is a state of mind.
Marley seems more, I guess, like worldly. I suppose.
Yeah,
We can figure
Volderall's
that
more
out,
of
yeah.
moldy.
Oh,
Nice. Okay.
Sorry, couldn't leave it.
So, Clarence, trying to keep your eye as best you can on Marley. The crowds get thicker, and just when you think that Marley's going to pop out on the other side of a group of people that's passing by, she doesn't. And you've lost her. And standing there in this decently well-populated area as the lanterns themselves in here begin to dim, indicating that it's getting darker and darker outside, you have no idea where Marley went.
Are there other shady people sneaking around?
As it's getting to be nighttime, you're high enough in the Alderheart that this isn't like a criminal underbelly or anything, but there's like loitering teenagers, you know?
Do I recognize any of the teenagers? Were any of them students?
No, I think most students at the Avium are probably still at the Avium, at least up here. There's probably some prospective ones. Like you might see somebody wearing like an Avium hoodie, but they're still in high school, you know? Like they're totally gonna pass their entrance exams, or their parents are gonna buy their way out.
Excuse you, I did not
The
come here to be
wannabes.
attacked like that.
All right. Clarence is just gonna kind of do like an oh darn, And is gonna turn and head back.
Marley, you continue upwards towards the height of the Alder Heart, up towards the Council Plaza, where you were instructed to meet. And there primarily are stairs. There's no lift system to get to the Council Plaza. And the further up in the tree you go, the more elegant the structuring the tenders have done. Like, it's almost like they started at the top and worked their way down. And the branches themselves have texture to them, these druidic symbols that are almost etched in naturally. And like the railing is elegant in twists and has, designs that we might think in another setting to be elven looking or sylvan of some sort. And you get to this wide reception area where there's few people about as it's getting darker. There's a fountain. There are actually several fountains. There's running water up here. There's, installations to give this the feeling of elegance. And you look around, you see, as it's getting darker, there are a couple of bird folk dressed very well, walking kind of side by side, just chatting with one another. And they look to you, they eye you up and down, keep moving past, whispering to each other. You only pick up whisper. And are you going all the way up to the Council Plaza? Are you going to wait here in the reception area? You are aware that like the Council Plaza is for the council, so probably not something that you would typically be allowed to.
I mean, if I can get there easy enough, since that's where I've been instructed to go. If I end up having to talk to someone, I mean, she would talk to someone.
Wide staircase with this massive set of double doors. Again, this very well designed into the wood themselves. You hear a voice come from the shadows. Harlow?
She turns.
I thought that was you. And out of the shadows steps the badger that you saw before, Lord Asher. It's been years. Harlow, what are you doing here?
Times are hard. But it's good to see you. You've done well.
It's good to see you. And I feel fortuitous to see you, because you have no idea how hard times actually are. And that is where we'll pick up next week.
Okay, nice.
Thank you all for joining us.
What's going on?
Ooh, mysteries.
Ooh, some intrigue. Ooh,
yeah.
Yes, unanswered questions.
Ooh.
Lord Asher has like that exclamation mark over his head that your quest
He has
givers always
he
have.
has a
He has a
quest
quest
for
for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. A little quest mark, just a little badger face on it. An English badger, to be fair. Okay, thank you all for joining us for Humblewood the Unwelcome Winter. I am Derek. I've been your GM for this game and for our future games. It'd be weird if I had somebody else step in for me, but this is a 12-week campaign, which is in support of Fauna and Flora International. I'm going to go around and have these lovely people say a little bit about themselves, where you can find more of them. Then I'm going to talk about myself, channel news, and I will let you get back to your day after that. And hopefully in that time, I can maybe think of a sign-off. So let's go ahead and go around. Christian, if you don't mind starting us out, who you are, where we can find more of your stuff, where we can support you in any way.
Cool. Hey everybody, hi, my name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba, on several socials, mainly on TikTok and Twitch, where you can find me streaming several days, several games with several of my wonderful friends. You can also find me on Roll for Dylan, that's ROLL, the number 4, DYLAN, for Vampire the Masquerades, Darkness Over New Orleans, and of course, in a couple hours, this Sunday, you can find me on Total Party Kisses, Tragedy of Theologian, Greek Myth Inspired 5e campaign. It's getting real spooky over there, y'all. We're fighting plants. So unlike here where we're supporting plants and animals, I'm fighting plants in that campaign. So it's gonna be fun. You can also check out the Lurking Legends, which is a One Piece inspired D&D game that's coming soon, to be released soon. Details will be in the Twitters. And this was fun. Can't wait to do it again.
Fantastic. Thank you, Christian. Anniek.
Hi, my name is Anniek. And this time I'm going to get my own pronouns right because I got them wrong the first time because I read Mochi's pronouns. I go by she, they. I can bring. I'm fine. I'm functional. I will be here on Sundays for Humblewood. I am normally here on Sundays running all kinds of stuff, and we'll be plotting and planning to see what comes after Humblewood. But current tentative plans are lots of little horror games with a set cast and then some rotating seats and chairs so I can horrify more people and scare them and make them say, wow, that was a disgusting description, and I'll say thank you. But before all of that happens here in October, I'm going to steal some of the channel stuff from Derek because I will be here playing Drama Llamas in honor of my birthday, which is why it doesn't match the creepy October theme. And we'll be playing llamas in, oh God, what was the word order again? Grand Prix Kitchen Extreme. It sounds like a Toddlers and Tiaras title, and it should. Which is the 20th, if I remember correctly. And then I get to play in that one. And then, as mentioned before, I love running horror games. I'll be running horror authors, so people who wrote and had actually books published, and there's no extra pressure on me, through a 2-shot of Call of Cthulhu for horror creepy month. And that is the 21st and the 28th times. You can find a meter on Twitter or Blue Sky or in our Discord because I don't do time zones because they're too difficult for my tiny brain. But my evening, American mornings.
10 a.m.
That's
Pacific
gonna
time.
be.
1 p.m.
Thank
Eastern.
you, Derek. I'm so hard, okay? It's like
Hey,
6
hey.
p.m. That's not true. I think that's all I'm doing right now. Yeah, the rest is plotting and planning for after Humblewood. And for during Humblewood, because apparently people are lying around my innocent little beanie baby.
I have
and she's
no
going.
idea what you're talking about.
No. It's fine. First Camden, then Arla, and then the world. We'll see. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you, Anniek. Liz.
Hi, I'm Liz. She, they pronouns. I have been Marley / Harlow. Nobody's really sure. We're gonna find out together. It's gonna be great. I can be found everywhere at EM Josia, except for Twitch, which is Peach Twitch Plays. I am currently in the middle of Scream streams for the month of October. So we've been playing Fatal Frame 4, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, which has been a time. Incredibly spooky. So if you are interested in that, it's great. It's good times. But yeah, you can find me in all of the places doing all of the things, but I will be here for the next 11 weeks and I'm very, very excited about it. So.
Thank you, Liz.
Yeah.
Pan.
Hi, I'm Pan. Excuse me. He, they pronouns. I've been playing Volderol, the possum druid, he and pronouns. You can find me at Stellar Encore on Blue Sky and Twitter and all the usual spots, all the socials. I'm all there. Stellar Encore, that's me. And you can also find me here on Twitch as well at Stellar Encore, where I do small chat shows and I play video games and I suck at video games. But it's okay because it's funny. Regardless, you can usually find me doing tabletop stuff on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can catch me in Cybertopia podcast. You can catch me in Emergency Power podcast. You can catch me on Cosmopunk and Horizons Unknown and Spectre in the Fog. I'm on all of those. I'm very tired. Somehow I keep going. And you can see me here again next week. So I might be dead. But otherwise, it's good times.
Oh, I need that stitched on a pillow. Thank you, Pan. Last but not least, of course, Shadow.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shadow, she, her pronouns. I've been playing Your Wonderful Neighborhood Clarence, the Lupu Bard. You can find more of me and myself over on any of the socials. I just just click on the card link and it'll take you somewhere. It'll be great. That's where you can find more of myself. I'm also here on Twitch at Shadow Sylvia. I'm more of like a daytime streamer, so if you want to hang out and lurk, I just started playing Assassin's Creed Revelations. Otherwise, we do cozy games like Stardew Valley, Little Witch in the Woods, etc., etc. Otherwise, we have a couple of things coming up on this channel. I'll be in this upcoming Friday, actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf. It's a complete meme game. It's awesome. It's adorable. Kayla's running it. It's going to be a great time. Otherwise, I'll be here. And then I'm also over on Roll D5, which is a TTRPG channel that focuses on highlighting indie TTRPG systems. So we'll be playing Triangle Agency on Monday the 16th. So yeah, and that's everybody, everywhere, all the things. I'm done. Take it away.
Thank you, Shadow. I'm Derek. I've been your GM. If you want to find me anywhere, that's fine. It's DSword16. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Twitter. Most of what I do is for Sword and Key, though, so pay attention to this part. Sword and Key, you can find all of our links through beacons.ai/Sword and Key. We have an Instagram, we have a Blue Sky, we have Twitter. We have a Discord. You can join the Discord through there. You can hang out with these wonderful folks and even more wonderful folks. You can chat about this game, all of our games. We got a lot of cool stuff over there. We're actually, for the month of October, for Sword and Spooky, our charity campaign month, we're having movie nights over on our Discord. So if you hang out over there, we're doing weekly movie nights for different classic and I would say new classic, recent classic horror movies. So to talk about our calendar a little bit and upcoming stuff, my dog decides to lose it right now. Tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Sorry to the European folks. I am actually running a game of Mara. It is a really interesting game that Kayla brought to me, so I will be playing it with Kayla. It is a two-person game where one person plays a sleeping, dreaming person, and the other person plays the personification of their nightmare. And they travel through the stages of sleep, deciding whether it is a euphoric dream or a terrible nightmare and how that impacts the sleeping person. It is a game of the lies we tell ourselves while we're awake and the truths that our nightmares whisper to us. It is Mara. It is very, very good. I'm very excited about it. So again, that's tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific time. The next thing is on Thursday the 12th. We are watching Friday the 13th. It'll make sense in a second. We're watching Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. I know it also is weird to watch Part 7 in a movie series, but if you know anything about Friday the 13th, that also makes sense. So that is only on our Discord. Movie nights are only on our Discord, so you got to join that to hang out there. As Shadow mentioned, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time on Friday the 13th is the actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf TTRPG being run by Kayla. It is absolutely it is a meme as a game. It is based off of the hit the infamous song actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf, and it's a lot of fun. It's going to be great. Horizon's Call is back on Saturday. It's same usual time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. That is our nautical 5e ongoing campaign. The 15th, we probably won't have a new episode of Monster Crush. Monster Crush is having some turnover right now. Monster Crush is a podcast I do with my friend Heavenly, although Heavenly has had to step back, so I have a new host that hasn't been full. It's been partially announced. It'll be with the wonderful Lady Dame is joining me for Monster Crush, but we have not had a chance to record a new episode just yet. So we're getting on that. It's a little bit of turnover, but Monster Crush is a fun podcast. It's a fun, horny podcast about smooching monsters and finding love in the horrifying. And you check it out wherever podcasts are found. We have a wonderful backlog if you've never listened to it before. We'll be back with more Humblewood every Sunday for 12 weeks, starting after, I guess it's 11 weeks after this. Next up is Drama Llamas, as Anniek mentioned, on the 20th, 10 a.m. Pacific time. We also have another movie night. The 21st, we have the beginning of Pulp Cthulhu, also as Anniek mentioned, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Then again, Horizons calls every Saturday. We have a one-shot of Night of Fright on the 22nd after Humblewood. That is Scooby-Doo D&D that I will be running. And then the last official thing, I guess, for Sword and Spooky Month is a 4 p.m. game on the 26th. Of Sunken, being run by Mare, which is pure nautical horror where nobody survives and death is the best ending that your character can hope for, because there are much worse things than death. And then the second part of Pulp Cthulhu will be on the 28th. And again, movie nights throughout. Monster Crush every other Sunday as it's going to be recorded. Check out the socials for Monster Crush to keep up to date on that. And then we'll have a fun Halloween. And throughout the month, we are raising for our one-shots. We are raising money for the Patty Aware Foundation International. Patty Aware International, I think is the technical name. And then for Humblewood specifically, we are raising money for Fauna and Flora International. You can donate to either of those organizations at any time through the Tiltifies that you can find through socials. They're posted on our beacons. They're also in chat. And you can impact future games. So even in the middle of the week, you can give this wonderful bunch of people an advantage. You can give them a crit. You can give them a complication if you want to make things rough on them. Also, please go support these wonderful people wherever they are and all the things they do. They are fantastic in everything. This was a wonderful game. They made great characters. They are great people. Please go support them with, if not views, anything else that you can. If you're able to financially support them as well. Everybody's got a Ko-Fi, coffee, however the hell it's pronounced. All that said, that is it for Sword and Key until 5 hours, less than 5 hours. So I'm gonna go take a nap. Stay cozy. I'll think of a better one. Take care of yourselves, everybody. We'll see you next week.